Well, hello everyone, and as promised, we are here. Welcome once again to the Coach's Corner, and you are in the company of yours truly. That is my name, Manny Thangadurai, and we are proudly presenting you live ball-by-ball coverage from the Australian Open Women's Singles Final between Elena Rybakina from Kazakhstan and Aryna Sabalenka from Belarusia, live from the Rod Laver Arena in Melbourne, Australia. And of course, the match is scheduled to start at 8:30 GMT, which would be 7:30 in the evening Melbourne time, which means that in another 10 minutes we should be over at the heading over to the Rod Laver Arena to watch some coverage of the match. And this, of course, will be the first final of today. It's not the first final of today because we do have some news from the men's disabled final, and I am actually going to share some news with you right now. Certainly some wonderful news for British tennis, with sadly with neither Jamie Murray or Neil Skupski doing too well enough to win a doubles tournament for themselves. We do have some joy here with wheelchair legend Alfie Hewitt, a day after winning his wheelchair title match with Gordon Reid. He's defeated the 16-year-old Tokita Oda from Japan to win his first ever Melbourne singles title, and he dominated Oda 6-3, 6-1 to add his individual prize to the doubles title he won alongside Gordon Reid on Friday. His seventh Grand Slam singles title, and he now only needs victory at his home tournament in Wimbledon to complete the career Grand Slam. He's also a 16-time major doubles champion and completed the calendar slam with Reid in 2021. Also, some news from the women's wheelchair singles. Dutch world number one Didi de Groot recovering from a difficult first set to win her fifth successive Australian Open title. She was bageled in the first set by Japanese Yui Kamiji, but then won the next two sets 6-2, 6-2 to complete her match in 1 hour and 48 minutes. So congratulations to both of them. And obviously now attention is pretty much focused on these two players, Rybakina and Sabalenka, two powerful players who have hit the most aces and the most winners in the tournament, respectively. So I want to make sure that I try and get the preview. And obviously, this match is going to be very interesting for both players. Rybakina obviously spoiling hopes of an all-Belarusian final by beating the two-time former champion Victoria Azarenka in the semi-final. And Sabalenka herself coming through a semi-final against the 30-year-old Pole, Magda Linette. Both these players, of course, having played some powerful tennis to get this far. There was a special preview. I want to see if I can find it. Just hold on a minute. Well, at the moment, they're still building up to it, and it will take about 5 minutes or so before we actually are at Rod Laver Arena. And both of these players are, in fact, right-handed, so there won't be any confusion when it comes to the when it comes to how they will play. I will be able to share a little preview of how they got this far, and once again, thanks to go out to our dear friends at BBC Sport. And of course, there will be a new name etched on the Australian Open trophy, Rybakina or Sabalenka. We need to find out. But first, congratulations once again to Alfie Hewitt, a British champion in Australia. Always wonderful to see Brits doing well in Australia. Of course, a lot of you viewers of this channel will remember the commentary we did for the ICC T20 World Cup in Australia, which was emphatically won by England, and deservedly so, it must be said. So we have the Wimbledon champion Rybakina's run to the final. In her first round, she was able to beat Cocciaretto 7-5, 6-3. She's really only had one tough three-set match in the third round against Collins, which could have gone either way. She ended up winning both her sets 6-2, 6-2, and losing the second one in between 5-7. In the fourth round, she stunned the top-seeded Pole Iga Swiatek 6-4, 6-4, and she beat the former French Open champion Jelena Ostapenko from Latvia in the quarterfinal, and in the semi-final, as mentioned, she was able to beat uh, Victoria Azarenka, the two-time defending champion from Belarusia, and she's had two sets taken to 7 games and lost one set. Pretty consistent tennis, a tournament leading 45 aces so far. Youngest player in the tournament, obviously, and will be hoping to add to her Wimbledon win, which had a bit of luster taken away from it with the decision from the ATP and the WTA to strip the tournament of its ranking points following their decision to expel the Russian and Belarusian players from the tournament. And we were talking about this in a preview yesterday, of course, Sani, that sports guy, and myself. So hopefully some of you will remember that. And now she would, of course, be the youngest player to win the title at both at both Wimbledon and the Australian Open since a certain Maria Sharapova won it in 2008. And you can see a sort of a similarity in approach and game for Rybakina to an extent. And now we come to Sabalenka, the 5th seed. Rybakina, of course, being the 22nd. And she's through to her first Grand Slam final, having previously fallen in the semi-finals of both the Wimbledon Championships and the US Open. She's played 10 matches so far in 2023 and won every single one of them in straight sets, hasn't dropped a set. And of course, should a tie break be required in the final, Sabalenka would go into it having won 9 of her last 10 tie-break sets. And just to be clear, the rules, of course, have been changed in that these final sets do go to a tie-break, but it is first to 10 points. And if she wins, she will move to number 2 in the world rankings. And her run to the final was also quite impressive. Didn't drop a set in the tournament, although she was taken to a tiebreak in one set and was taken to 7 in another set. But it's been a straightforward journey for her, and she certainly played some very powerful tennis to get so far. The highest seeded player left in the tournament after the top 2 seeds were bounced out before the quarterfinals. And then, of course, we had the 3rd and 4th seeds not progressing that much further either. In fact, all top 4 seeds were bounced out before the semifinals. This has been a somewhat crazy Australian Open in a way. And we are actually about to go live to Rod Laver Arena right now with the former champion, now retired, Ashley Barty, home darling, of course, who won this tournament, who is, of course, now retired, and she has now placed the trophy on the podium. And I think it's fair to say that the main reason why they've opted to have the final at this time in the evening is to avoid the heat. And it's also worked out well for our viewers in the UK who don't have to wake up at either midnight or 2 in the morning their time to watch the matches. And let's also not forget that the Open this year has, of course, been affected by heat and rain-induced delays. So it's obviously brought about a lot of rule changes, including a few a new scale to be adopted for the level of heat, and obviously the delays did wreak a little bit of havoc, but thankfully there was no backlog in terms of play being completed. So, which this therefore means that we can certainly look forward to. Yeah, a little bit of white noise. Forgive me for that. We can certainly look forward to what could very well be a well-completed tournament, and this should be a tough-fought match played in more amenable conditions, if you will. No heat as such. and should be certainly an interesting game. And we should be having a guest coming on. I've already sent him the link, and once he clicks the link and joins in the studio, we will welcome him and talk a little bit of tennis. Obviously, as I've said, for our viewers and our friends in the UK, it's not been easy to watch the tennis, given the timings. Of course, when you're in a situation where you're trying to watch sports in the UK from Australia, which is about 11 or 10 hours ahead of you, is definitely not easy. So, big up to sports fans in both countries trying to watch sports based in other continents. It is not easy, let me tell you. But it is what it is. And of course, a final reminder, of course, that this channel needs your support. It needs your encouragement. So do not hesitate to like this video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell button for any notifications. And if this goes well and we do have some good views and some good responses, we should be able to cover the men's singles final tomorrow. This final should really only be a best of 3 sets affair, and we will definitely be covering the post-match presentation ceremonies where the champion and the runner-up will make their speeches. I mean, we did the same thing for the cricket. We can't exclude that from this telecast. And tomorrow might be difficult, given that it could very well be a best of 5 set affair between Stefanos Tsitsipas rather from Greece, and Novak Djokovic, the legend from Serbia. But if this goes well today, we will cover that. And I'm happy to be sitting here in front of my television watching clear coverage of it. Shout out, of course, to the Sony Sports Network in India for providing good coverage of the tennis. And obviously, I cannot let coverage of that be seen, reflected in the mirror, because I do not want to see this video copyrighted after all the work we've done. And yeah, we've got the analysts, of course, talking in the studio. And full further preview of the adversaries who are coming out to play. And certainly women's tennis has evolved over the years, with athletes becoming much taller and much stronger than they were back in decades gone by. Certainly back stronger than back in the 70s and 80s and so forth. I do remember seeing the likes of Lindsay Davenport winning a few Grand Slams. Tall, powerful lady at 6'2". But the thing about tennis is that it sometimes gets a bit dispiriting seeing the bigger boys and girls at 6 foot and over continuing to win. But we have had more than our share of smaller champions who have proven that you don't need to be tall to be able to do well, as long as you can play according to the conditions and master your opponent. And well, we've actually got someone who will be joining very soon. He should be coming in the studio. A good friend of mine. Obviously, we met through Instagram and cemented our friendship through the YouTube circle, as it were. And it's just as well that he's still here as long as he's in the studio, because just in case, God forbid, I have a power outage on my side, he'll still be in the studio and obviously able to bring you coverage of the game. But we're going to try and make sure that we bring you every single moment of the match, ball by ball analysis. And obviously, if you are watching this broadcast right now and also trying to keep your eye on the telly, I'm going to make sure that the coverage is sort of like radio commentary. In fact, I'm reminded of the legendary Ian Carter, who used to do radio commentary of the Wimbledon Championships for BBC Radio. Those were the days, eh? It doesn't beat watching it on the telly, obviously, and the commentary on the television is usually more often than not top notch. But sometimes if circumstances dictate that you have to be on the road and you want to catch the tennis, you've got to bite the bullet and just listen to it. Now, we are at Rod Laver Arena with both players in the tunnel right now, about to walk out with their trainers and their luggage, if you will. It's amazing how many tennis rackets players have. you know, given how hard they play, rackets can sometimes have their strings broken, or you know, sometimes if players get really angry, they throw their rackets in a fit of anger and just, you know, break them. A lot of nervous energy, and we've got our friend over here. Nice to welcome him on. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to Ryan Mather from Huddersfield Town Fan TV. Obviously, primarily a football fan, but definitely a true sports fan who enjoys his tennis. Morning, mate. Thanks a lot for joining us from the UK. Clear morning over there in West Yorkshire.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, it is actually the sun's shining and just obviously obviously it's just kind of it's a really pleasant kind of morning. So yeah, very nice. But of course, yeah,
Sun is shining, the weather is sweet, but instead you're sat at home and about to put up your feet.
yeah, for now anyway.
Yeah. So obviously they're walking through the tunnel, and there's a list of champions, of course, whose names are mentioned, names are up there, and the years in which they've won the tournament. And there will be a new champion this year on the women's side. I wonder if tomorrow there will either be a new champion or a 10-time champion. That will remain to be seen. But I was just talking, obviously, yesterday. I want to thank you for joining the preview. We were talking about how these two players have played some of the most powerful tennis in the tournament. Rybakina has a tournament leading 45 aces, but Sabalenka has hit close to about 200 winners in this tournament. It can be a bit dispiriting at times to see tennis dominated by the more powerful players, but sometimes if you do have a little bit of guile and also are able to read the game well, you can um, you can win. It's just a case of somehow players with a little bit more in terms of physical attributes end up using that to their advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that obviously it's good to have a new winner on the women's side this year, and because I always like seeing a new winner, me, because I think it's just really refreshing. If you have the same winner over and over again, it's a bit well, it's obviously good for the player that keeps winning, but for maybe us general tennis fans, it is good to have some new players, win a tournament. But yeah, I certainly agree with what you're kind of saying there for sure.
Yeah, and the thing about this Open is obviously we've seen a lot of big seeds exit the tournament, and we've seen a mixture of unheralded players and a few old veterans coming back into prominence. So I mentioned the two-time former champion Azarenka from Belarusia. She actually played some really good tennis to reach the semi-finals, only for the Kazakh Wimbledon champion Rybakina to beat her in straight sets. But it just goes to show that there is a wonderful filtration of quality on the women's circuit as well as the men's circuit. But that could also perhaps be put down to a general inconsistency at times among the top players. This tournament in particular, mind you, is played in conditions where the heat can take its toll. And so if you are not well conditioned going into the tournament, then you're asking for trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more to it because obviously, it's one of those that you can look at it two ways really. This can't you? Because obviously the quality has definitely increased across the board in both sides, obviously the women's and the men's. Because you're seeing players that that are maybe a bit lower down the rankings still able to compete with some of the better ranking players. But I get what you're saying about the consistency of maybe the top players, but um, the consistency has been there for them if they are at the top. So I just feel like you've got to credit the game overall really because um, you know people are wanting to kind of stride towards the top, and obviously they're having to put more work in to do that. And yeah, but yeah, like I say, it's great for the sport for sure to have that kind of competitive nature to pretty much every game, isn't it?
Yeah, wonderful. So we're taking a look at the player biographies. Rybakina stands at 1.83 meters tall, right-handed, ranked 25th in the world. A win-loss record of 129 to 69. Born in Moscow, but competing under the Kazakh flag because she was able to receive more funding from the Kazakh government. And she obviously didn't really feel like much of a champion after winning Wimbledon, given the fact that the decision was taken to strip the tournament of their ranking points following the decision to get rid of to expel the Russian and Belarusian players. And now we talk about Sabalenka, a year older, same height, 1.83, ranked fifth in the world, a career win-loss record of 208 to 102, so over 50%, and currently, of course, representing Belarusia, but playing with no flag. And so, again, as in the case of the Football World Cup, it's a case of politics rearing its head. I agree with the decision to, not allow the Russian and Belarusian flags. And I mean, obviously, the decision to expel them from the tournament was a little bit harsh because at the end of the day, players, they had to make a living, and that was probably a little bit too harsh a statement, maybe. But we never like seeing politics and sports mixing, but they just do that. And I know that you have strong feelings, of course, about the World Cup, and I applaud you actually for your willpower in not watching a single minute of that tournament. So again, it's just unfortunate, but it is what it is. And hopefully, we're not going to focus on that because both these players are here on merit, and it's time for us just to enjoy the game.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Like I say, I've obviously my stance for the World Cup, of course, but yeah, I don't think it's a case of bringing politics in it from my point of view. I think like it's more my stance against what I believe in, really, that I just couldn't. But anyway, yeah, we are going to focus on this, and of course,
Yeah,
be a great
yeah.
match.
Right. So before we start playing, and obviously now they're going over their run to the finals, and we will talk about that. I was mentioning how Danielle Collins gave Rybakina a tough game, and then Azarenka also faced her in the semi-final. In fact, Rybakina has had probably the more impressive run, beating four seeds en route, including the top seed and two former Grand Slam champions. So she's definitely worth her place here. And of course, Sabalenka is the fifth seed, the highest ranked seed left after the top four seeds exited before the semi-finals. So I just want to ask you quickly. I mean, did you grow up watching tennis as a child and probably playing it?
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of followed tennis probably since about 8 years ago, kind of thing. So yeah, I've grown up watching tennis for sure. Like I said, I've always said that I want to go to a tournament, and especially Wimbledon because such an iconic place, of course. And I've not got there yet, but it's my dream to get there. Playing, I did play a bit, but nothing consistent really. I used to play here and there, when I could, but yeah, not playing, but yeah, definitely watching it quite a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely used to play when I was much younger and in school, but obviously after going to university, never really had the time. When I was 3 years old, mind you, I had the privilege of being taken to Wimbledon by my mum to see the semi-final in the men's tournament between John McEnroe and Pat Cash, and we're now going over Sabalenka's run to the tournament. Powerful run, only defeated two lower seeds than her, but obviously as the highest seed left in the tournament, she definitely deserves to be here. And this should be a very interesting game because both of these players have similar heights, are very similar in height, both powerful games. Rybakina obviously has the more potent serve, but Sabalenka has plenty of winners. I suppose if we can compare both of them, you might see a little bit of Maria Sharapova in both of them. Also, a little bit of Amelie Mauresmo, also a former Grand Slam winner. And this is going to be an interesting game. I just wonder if unforced errors might come into this.
Yeah, who can, who can hold the nerve, and for me in these finals, it is about who can, keep it together, of course, because it's very easy to, kind of feel the pressure maybe, but yeah, I think it will be definitely down to unforced errors, and I think it's just who can see out the
All
game.
right, so we're about to begin play, and it is Sabalenka to serve first. A right-handed serve from the right of the court, and it's fault straight into the net. Second serve, does she get it in? And she starts off with a double fault, a net cord back on her side of the court. So not a very auspicious beginning for the fifth seed. I believe she won the toss and elected to serve first, so she might give herself a bit of an advantage, but not the best way to start.
No, absolutely not. But yeah, you're quite ahead of me. But this
Yeah,
is
so And she follows that up with a nice ace, not quite in the middle, but certainly close to the middle. So that brings it to 15 all. So just goes to show that's how you respond. A nice high toss and certainly brought down quickly enough. And 176 kilometers an hour, definitely not slow. And that serve is hit powerfully. A weak backhanded return from Rybakina, and Sabalenka takes advantage of that with a nice cross-court winner. Takes to 30-15. So a strong beginning from the fifth seed. And
Yeah.
she serves again, this time from the left court. Another service inside, returned on the forehand. And a nice rally between the two going on forehands right now. Is that out by Rybakina? Yes, it is. So after a few shots, it is now 40-15. And so Sabalenka has 2 points to hold the first game. And the reason why I'm commentating like this is because I want to make sure that everyone gets a full description of the action, a bit like how Ian Carter used to do his commentary on the radio for BBC. And a nice ace down the middle to finish it off. And so Sabalenka draws first blood. And so now you see what you can expect from Sabalenka. 2 aces in that game and some very powerful tennis. What we're going to see from Rybakina, it might be similar, it might not be. This is going to be a very interesting match because both of them have similar styles. We talk about unforced errors, but maybe there might be some other quality that really separates the two. We're going to have to wait and see. Ryan, what do you think?
Yeah, I can't. I always agree with what you're saying, man. Like I said, obviously, yeah, I couldn't really agree more, really. But of course, like I said, it is important. Obviously, starting off strong is really important, of course, and then she's done that. So
yeah. So it's Rybakina's turn to serve, and that is not the best of serve. It's a net cord and then it goes wide, so that's a fault for her. Can she hit her second serve inside? Well, it's a much slower serve at 138, and it's returned well, but that backhand shot is a really powerful one, which forces the error from Sabalenka, and it is 15 love. So a weak second serve, not really punished enough, but at least Rybakina doesn't begin with a point lost. Powerful serve there at 176, returned to deep to the Rybakina forehand. A short rally and then an unforced error from the Rybakina forehand, taking that to 15 all. And so we're taking a look at Rybakina's serve. It looks to be a somewhat lower toss, but she takes advantage of that by following through quite well. The lower toss obviously could help her. Russell Crowe over there in the audience. Powerful ace down the middle, 184 kilometers an hour. That takes it to 30-15. And so, who's your provider? Is it BBC or are you watching on Sky?
no, I'm watching it on Sky and Eurosport. So yeah, I'm a bit behind you, but yeah.
Right. Okay. So another big ace, same speed, actually at 175, but a sort of an inside-out ace to the Sabalenka backhand, and Sabalenka can't reach that. So both players having 2 aces each in their first service games. It's 40-15 now for Rybakina. Does she end this game with an ace? Yes, she does. So that's 3 aces for her. A powerful display of serving from both players. 1 game all in the first set. And that reminds me, where are my manners? I've got to add a banner right now. But so far, nothing much to separate them, eh?
No, and I think it's important. If we want in a close game, it is important. Obviously, Rybakina, held that serve there and set.
Yeah. And that was a really big serve from Sabalenka to start it, sort of powering all the way down the middle, 186 kilometers an hour,
Yeah.
15 love. Another big serve, and the forehand return from Rybakina is long, so that is 30 love. now altered 183. So after a somewhat difficult beginning, she's got her service pretty much nailed on, and that's a huge ace down the middle, 188 kilometers an hour. And I just wonder whether this could be a serve fest. Her fourth ace, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
A sort of a let chord there, first service. So she can still power through on this one. And that is long, sort of an attempted slower serve, but still quite fast, 177. So she might just have to dink this one in and see what happens. Well, that does go in, but it's a fine backhand return there from Sabalenka, and that takes it to 40-15. I mean, Rybakina, rather. Rybakina with that backhand return. Getting to that perfectly, and just inside the court. So Rybakina still has 2 points to hold, and a powerful serve, a weak backhand return, but the rally continues, and an impressive winner there from Rybakina, who is able to withstand pressure from Sabalenka. That takes it to 40-30. And that net court over there really helped Rybakina, sort of caught Sabalenka in two minds. Sort of a weak half volley back into Rybakina's court, and a nice winner past her, and all she could do was applaud. Fault there from Sabalenka, so her serve's under some pressure. And now a second serve, which might be a little bit slower. What does she do? Forehand return from Rybakina, and the backhand from Sabalenka is wide, so we are at deuce. So from 40 love to deuce, Sabalenka is under some pressure, and Rybakina might be finding a way into this game. And this is probably where you could see a big server start to disintegrate if you put pressure on that serve.
Yeah, absolutely. Spot on, spot on.
That is long. 192, exceptionally big, but it's all about the placement, not the power. And a double fault for Sabalenka. Her second of the match gives Rybakina a break point and a chance to draw first blood for the Wimbledon champion. Second serve into the net, and we see the Belarusian under pressure.
Yeah.
.151 kilometers an hour, and that approach shot is wide from the return. So Rybakina has the first break of the match, and it is 2-1 in the first set.
Big moment now. Of course, I think it's always important if you can get into a lead, because if you can take that first set, you're giving yourself a big advantage, of course. So what a start to this match this is. And
yeah. I mean, it's just as well that I've got the banner on after the first break. So, I mean, we've seen, obviously, I remember watching the likes of Goran Ivanisevic playing Pete Sampras and Andre Agassi. And Ivanisevic was a person who could always count on his serve to get as many aces as he could. And it was sort of a herky-jerky sort of a serve with a low toss, but also a really powerful left-handed follow-through. And he served more than 1,000 aces, maybe about 1,500. But the problem is, if there's no real variety in that serve, and if you sometimes try to force it and you commit too many faults, you can put pressure on yourself. And I think that's what Rybakina will look to try and do, because obviously Rybakina might have had more aces, but Sabalenka certainly has a serve which cannot be taken lightly. And at about 180 odd kilometers an hour, there's no way you can take that lightly.
Yeah, absolutely, you're definitely right. And of course, it's one of those. If you do have a good serve, though, it does help you, doesn't it? Though, and of course, there is pros and cons to it, really. But Yeah, like I said,
Yeah, so just in time, a false toss there means that Rybakina gets to serve again. And 178, and the backhand return from Sabalenka is long, so it's 15 love for Rybakina. Got some comments in. Oris in the building. Big up, lads. Big up to you, son. Yes, thank you very much indeed. Morning to you. And we are back. 15 love. And so a fault there, sent straight into the net. So a second serve for Rybakina. Let's see if Sabalenka will try and attack this one. A backhand return. Another backhand shot back, straight into the court. The rally continuing with forehands from either player. And that forehand from Sabalenka is long. 30 love to Rybakina. So obviously, it's not quite like Ian Carter's commentary. I can't get every single shot, but it just goes to show how brilliant that man was at his job.
you're doing a fine job to me, man. Don't worry, don't compare yourself.
Yeah. Serve down the middle, and the backhand return is into the net. 182 kilometers an hour from Rybakina. 40 love, 3 points to hold for a 3-1 lead, and potentially a strong foothold in this set.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is wide and wild. And so she has a second serve, which is notoriously slow. So Sabalenka needs to pounce on this one. And pounce on it she does with a backhand return. Another backhand from Rybakina, followed by a backhand from Sabalenka. Rally now continuing with forehands from both players. And Rybakina sends a forehand into the net. And it is 40-15. Well, at the moment, it's still in terms of games 2-1, but that will possibly change in the next 1 or 2 points. We'll have to see. But Sabalenka could perhaps sense an opening. However, she's still still behind the 8 ball. A nice wide serve, forehand return which just goes in, but a backhand from Sabalenka which goes wide, and it's now 3-1 to Rybakina.
Yeah, very important hold. Like I say, you see sometimes, don't you, where some players break the serve and then they just end up losing the serve straight away. So that's an important hold, that.
Exactly. And now, of course, with Rybakina having broken, she will end up serving for the set if it goes to 5-4. But Sabalenka now has to hold. And she starts off with a wide serve to the Rybakina forehand. The return is just wide, not in, and so it's 15 love. Nice serve down the middle, return, a forehand return, and a nice double backhand, which forces Rybakina into forehand error there, 30 love. So this is all that Sabalenka can do, just control what she can control, get back into the game, not try and force her serve too much. Serve over there, backhand return, and a low backhand from Rybakina into the net, and it's 40 love. So Rybakina needs to be careful. I mean, she's done really well so far to get a 3-1 lead. The last thing she needs is to lose her composure. And 181 kilometer an hour serve returned on the forehand. That backhand from Sabalenka is long. It is now 40-15. And both players, of course, will lean on their double-handed backhands for more power. You don't see the single-handed backhand much these days. A long first serve from Sabalenka there, and it is still 40-15, but she cannot afford a double fault at this stage. A double fault now will put her under severe pressure, let me tell you. Second serve, 148, backhand return. A strong backhand winner there from Sabalenka, and it is now 3-2. So she holds and she's still in it, but she does have a little bit of a mountain to climb to make sure she doesn't lose this first set. But already now, we see Sabalenka adjusting her game. She doesn't want to force her serve too much and is now relying on more of her ground strokes. And I think it's fair to say that that's probably the way she might have to approach this. She can't afford to be too powerful on that first serve of hers, lest she gets broken again.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to find that fine balance, don't you? And of course, it's one of those where you have to kind of, just hang on in there, obviously from Sabalenka's point of view, and it is, easy to kind of break back if you can. But, yeah.
Yeah, but there were a couple of moments in that game where Rybakina was looking a little bit frustrated and obviously
Yeah.
hitting some balls into the net instead of over the net. She is the youngest player in the draw, although Sabalenka's only a year older, and she's already won a Grand Slam before. But you do not want to see her lose her composure at any given time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I don't think she will, to be fair, because like I said, she has won, so she's already shown that she's got that composure, that she can cope under the pressure. But yeah, it's a different tournament, different feel. You just don't know what will happen.
Right. So Rybakina to serve. A nice serve, sort of in the middle, and a weak backhand return into the net from Sabalenka gives Rybakina the first point in this game. And it's the placement of her serves as well that can cause a lot of problems. Because, as I said, it's not about the power, it's the placement. If it's placed strategically, your opponent can't really return it. And another brilliant serve there, 169, so not as fast, but certainly more of an inside-out serve that was too far wide of the Sabalenka backhand for her to get a return in. And so it's 30 love. So Rybakina's done well so far, controlling what she can control. That is a fault with the serve going just wide of the tee. I mean, not just wide, there was some distance there. So Rybakina has a second serve, and how does Sabalenka deal with this one? Slower second serve, backhand return, another backhand shot from Sabalenka, which goes wide and long, and we are now at 40 love. And so, well, she's maintained her composure well so far. 3-2, 40 love up, and serving for a 4-2 lead. And that will be considered an ace just on the tee, and Rybakina is now 4-2 up in the first set. And the thing about Rybakina's serve is that she doesn't really try to force it that much. It really is about just following through smoothly and getting the placement right. Good
Yeah,
to see.
exactly. It's a nice serve, isn't it? It really is. So, yeah, very, very, very good.
Right. Sabalenka now with a big serve to the Rybakina backhand. A nice rally going on over here. And Sabalenka backhand, Rybakina forehand, and a forehand error from Sabalenka gives Rybakina the first point. So now we see Sabalenka once again trying to use her court coverage and her sort of powerful ground strokes to try to dominate Rybakina, but not really succeeding. And Rybakina responding with some very clean and powerful ground strokes of her own. Low 15. Good serve up the tee to the Rybakina forehand. And a long forehand to Rybakina makes it 15 all. And so Sabalenka is under a bit of pressure. Let's see how she handles this one now. That is just wide. Decides not to review that call. And so a second serve from Sabalenka. Does this go in? A double fault for Sabalenka. 15-30. And now you can see the pressure starting to build. Her third double fault in this first set, with Rybakina having yet to serve a double fault. And Sabalenka's coach is a bit concerned right now. Big serve wide to the Rybakina backhand, 184 kilometers an hour, gets it to 30 all. And that's how you want to respond. double fault and then an ace. And what a time to serve that. Big serve to the Rybakina forehand, another forehand from Sabalenka, forehand from Rybakina, backhand from Sabalenka, backhand from Rybakina, another backhand from each of them, a sort of a sliced backhand, double-handed backhand from Rybakina. Does she get the forehand? Yes, she does. Forehand from Sabalenka, and a backhand into the net from Rybakina gets it to 40-30, so some good play there from the Belarusian. Nice little recovery. And she might need this point now for a 3-4 scoreline, which will still keep her in the game. And you can see from her reaction how much that point meant to her. That is a fault, wide of the tee. Second serve from Sabalenka. Nicely placed on the tee. A huge backhand winner there, and she holds for a 3-4 deficit. So you saw that game. You saw the worst and the best of Sabalenka, how she recovered well. What did you think of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think she did very well, didn't she, to bounce back from that, early chasing the game. But yeah, showed the resilience and fought back, and she's pulled it back again. So pressure back onto Rebecca now to try and get one close to the set.
Yeah, I wouldn't actually say that she's been under pressure because she's served more than a few aces. She hasn't hit a single double fault. And so far, although she's made a few errors, they've all been on the Sabalenka serve. Whereas on her own serve, she's pretty much, controlled it well enough, I would say. And I'm glad that we're doing this because, at the earliest, this could get over in about an hour tops. Enough time for me to finish this broadcast and go and have my lunch. And then you can have brunch if you will.
yeah, absolutely. It's still very early. Yeah, I'm not a morning person, man. You probably noticed that, but yeah.
Well, I applaud your commitment to joining me. Thank you very much indeed, mate.
No problem. I would have been up anyway watching it, but yeah, it just takes me a while to come around.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And of course, we've got the third seed and the fourth seed playing tomorrow. That will be at the same time. If we do this watch along, I hope we'll have more people joining in. Any more comments? No, Rybakina won the Wimbledon final. So that's a correction there. But Rybakina to serve for a 4-3 lead. Big serve with a backhand return that's just in. A nice forehand there from Sabalenka, another one from Rybakina. The backhand is in. A high shot there from Rybakina, so Sabalenka can win this with a smash, and she does. Nice forehand smash, sending Rybakina the wrong way, and it is love 15. And just to be clear, when you mentioned the scores, it's always server and then receiver. So if it's love 15, it means that the receiver has won the point. This is for the viewers, not for you, Ryan.
Fair enough, yeah.
You love your tennis, you know your tennis. This is just for everyone who's watching in for the first time. Service fault there beyond the tee, and I will explain what the tee is in a minute. But we have a second serve coming up from Rybakina. A slower one, which Sabalenka attacks with a huge backhand. That takes it to love 30, and this could very well be the game that Sabalenka wins to break back and get back on serve. But we're going to see how Rybakina responds to this pressure now. Big serve in the middle, and a poor forehand error from Rybakina, who had the court open but sent that wide. 3 break points against her, and Rybakina has had her 80% of her first serves unreturned, but so far she's faced a few problems, and now she's got 3 break points against her. So could this be the revival that Sabalenka wanted? Powerful serve. Forehand return that was wide. 188 kilometers an hour. That gets her to 1540. But she's going to need to uncork a couple more of those just to save this game. Take it to juice. Another big serve, a sort of a crooked forehand return from Sabalenka. Nice little backhand approach from Rybakina, but Sabalenka with the backhand winner, and she has broken back for 4-all, and we are back on serve in the first set. So,
Wow.
I don't know if you could say that this was coming, but just goes to show. It's all about how you play the moments, and you could say that Sabalenka was lucky because that forehand return on the Rybakina serve was a little bit crooked there, but Rybakina couldn't take advantage of that, and you can see how much that means to her coaches.
Yeah, back in the match now, of course, and really will be pleased with herself. But yeah, Rybakina really will be disappointed.
Yeah, but then Sabalenka responds by sending a huge serve way long. Second serve for her now. A nice return there for Rybakina from the forehand. Sliced shot from Sabalenka, and that forehand is sent long. So it's Rybakina's turn to put some pressure back on serve. Credit to Rybakina, she hasn't served the double fault as of yet, but now she's been broken back. And that look says it all. After all that hard work, you make a mistake like that. Love 15. Another long serve. A fault. So another second serve. And that is just... Nah, that's another double fault, which was just beyond the service area. And so, once again, Sabalenka is back in trouble on her serve at love 30. So if Rybakina breaks her, she will serve for the set. Long again. And once again, Sabalenka trying to force her serve, not getting any dividends from that. She cannot afford to do that this time around. Powerful second serve there, wide to the Rybakina forehand. It's sent long, and it is now 15-30. Oh, is the point being replayed? Might have been a let court there. Still wide to the forehand, but well returned, and that's a brilliant forehand winner. She drew Rybakina out of position with that serve and then was able to crunch that forehand winner almost down the line. And it is 15-30. Now it is 15-30. Of course, the reason why I didn't catch that that let was because the TV is on mute. But 15-30 now. Nice serve to the Rybakina forehand, but I think that might have been called for a let possibly, or a foot fault. I'm not too sure, but once again, it's Sabalenka on serve, 15-30. Nice return from Rybakina, good forehand from Sabalenka, and that backhand from Sabalenka goes into the net, and once again, Sabalenka has 2 break points against her. And so you can see more and more unforced errors starting to creep into the Belarusians' game. Will Rybakina take this opportunity now? Another errant, wild serve beyond the tee. And that is in the area, and the return is long. So that's how you save 1 break point. Can she produce another of those? And so that's another good weapon to have when you have a serve, a sort of a sliced serve that sort of is served out wide to the receiver's forehand, that he or she can't get it back in. But second break point, how does she respond here? Wide serve there, obviously hoping for the inside-out serve to the backhand, but sent into the ad court and not the juice court. So second serve, break point. This could be key. And that is a double fault. And so after all the brilliant work she did to break back and get it back on serve, she's lost her serve again. And so Elena Rybakina, the Wimbledon champion, will be serving for the first set. And you can see, Ryan, the pressure starting to get to her and the unforced errors creeping in. Just goes to show that you really need to have a little bit more subtlety in your game and variety. You can't just depend on power all the time, yes?
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to show that variety to your game. And of course, yeah, like I said, all that hard work getting back into the match, getting back into the set, should I say, sorry, has been undone by that. So, yeah, like I said, great response by Rebecca, and now serving for the set. So, fair play to her. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And again, the service, some faults and double faults also creeping in, trying to force it. So she's handed the advantage back. It is now up to her to wrest that advantage back. And Rybakina has probably had the more composed game, fewer errors, but after half an hour, it is 5-4 Rybakina, and she is serving for the set. And certainly a very composed performance so far. So we're going to see how she uses this low toss serve here and what she can get. And it's a pretty poor first serve into the net. So the second serve will probably be a lot slower, and Sabalenka might need to pounce on this. And pounce on it she does with a backhand return. Forehand from Rybakina is in. Another forehand from Sabalenka in. Cross-court backhand from both players. And nice rally going on there. And is that just wide from Sabalenka? I believe it is. So Rybakina wins the first point, 3 points away from the first set. And so this is her second point. Let's see what she does here. Another wild serve, which goes long. Probably trying to lend a little bit more kick into that. I'm not too sure. Sabalenka pouncing on that second serve with a backhand return, but the backhand from Sabalenka goes into the net. It is 30-love, so Rybakina is 2 points away from the first set. And you can see Sabalenka starting to feel the strain. Might need a little bit more energy. Better conditions to play the final, of course, in the evening. A long first serve there from Rybakina beyond the tee. Second serve inside. Pounced on with a backhand return, but an excellent forehand from Rybakina, which forces the error from Sabalenka. And the Kazakh Wimbledon champion has 3 set points for a 1-set-to-love lead. Three set points. Nice serve and a weak return, and Rybakina wins the first set. 6-4. Minimal fuss. Very accomplished first set there, and that is pretty much how it has gone. So you can see right now that Rybakina was good value for that, and obviously Sabalenka has had to try a bit too hard. It will remain to be seen how Sabalenka comes back in, but so far, Rybakina has hardly put a foot wrong. She hasn't served a double fault. How impressed have you been with that first set?
Absolutely, it's been really good, hasn't it? So far, obviously, Rybakina really impressive for sure, very consistent. You know, everything that's been thrown that she's answered. So, Yeah, I think it's been good. Obviously, now Sabalenka will have to really make a statement in this second set early on to try and find some more confidence. But yeah, really enjoyable.
Mhm. So I'm just going to change the ticker here. And as you can see, the second set will have this ticker. Love all between the two, but one set to love for Rybakina. I'd like to think that when it comes to the tickers, I do a decent job. I try.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but I do try.
Absolutely.
Now, did you have any favorite players growing up when you were a child watching tennis?
uh, I like Andy Murray. I think Andy Murray was always a favourite of mine.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, Nadal, I like Nadal. I did like watching Nadal. Federer, another one. Federer's a legend, obviously, but so quite a few. But yeah, obviously the bigger names. But yeah,
Yeah, as I said, I grew up watching Sampras and Agassi, and Becker, even in his sort of close to twilight years, was still doing quite well. Edberg was decent, but coming to the end in a way. And it was those two players, Sampras and Agassi, who defined the decade in which I started really
yeah,
watching and following tennis, sort of in the 90s, as it were. And a very calm, pleasant evening over in Melbourne at the Rod Laver Arena. And so the conditions, in theory, should be better for the players because they don't have the heat at the beginning of the day. But sometimes, if it does get humid, that might be bad enough. So I'm glad that they had the flexibility to put it back. And it's also made for better TV views, especially, as I said, if you want to watch them in the UK. There's no way that I can countenance you waking up at about midnight your time just to get up and watch some tennis from the other
yeah,
side of the world.
absolutely. And that's the problem with this. I do love this tournament, but because of the time zone, I've very much not watched as much as maybe I'd like because of obviously the late timings and things like that. So it has been difficult to watch. But yeah, the conditions a lot better in the evening, of course. There and yeah, it's good that they do that. But yeah.
And of course, when it comes to football, Australia and New Zealand will be hosting the Women's World Cup. I'm sure we'll be looking
Oh
to try
yes,
to
yes, yes.
bring that to everyone. And so it will be a first football World Cup held in the Antipodes. I know that when the World Cup was held in 2002 in Japan and Korea, that a lot of people didn't have too many problems because it was at a decent time in the morning. But if it's in Oz and New Zealand, it will be difficult. Now, obviously, the players are back from their break. Now, we got some cricketing royalty in the box over there, former captain Steve Waugh and a few others. The white hair's very prominent there. And of course, Hollywood royalty in Mr. Crow. New Zealander, of course, but starred on Neighbours. Sabalenka to open the second set with a serve. And that's an important way to start. A 162 km/h ace wide to the Rybakina forehand. Wasn't able to get there. 15 love. Fault there into the net. She can ill afford a double fault at this stage. Second serve returned by Rybakina. A nice double-handed backhand rally between the both of them now, and that double backhand is long from Sabalenka. It's 15 all. Another unforced error. More pressure on the Belarusian. And I can just say you can just see the look on her face. Not again. Big serve, a backhand return from Rybakina, and a terrific forehand winner there from Rybakina takes it to 15-30. And you can see a big problem right now is that with Sabalenka's serve being so powerful, she just hasn't been able to hit a really good follow-up shot on that return. So that has allowed Rybakina to really attack her. And I think Sabalenka needs to change that strategy. And we'll talk about this after the game.
Yeah.
A wide first serve from her, wide and wild. Another double backhand rally, starting from a backhand return from both players. A sliced forehand, which goes over the net from Sabalenka. Another long forehand, a poor error from her, and she now has 2 break points on her serve. So you can see that the attempt to really force things is once again not paying dividends for her. And it's all starting to go haywire for her now.
Yeah, big moment this. Has to be.
That was a big first serve, which is what Sabalenka needed. Not the best of returns from Rybakina, and Sabalenka put that away. But she still has a break point against her, and she can ill afford to lose this one. Cramped for space with the forehand return was Rybakina, and then Sabalenka made her pay. But there was a net cord there on that forehand from her. Forehand return from Rybakina. A nice forehand rally between the both of them. A somewhat slower first serve, and well, she definitely needed that point. That's taken her to juice. That forehand from Sabalenka was just inside. Rybakina sending the forehand wide. And so she saved 2 break points now, but she can ill afford to lose this first game, and she's already under pressure on her serve. So this has been a really good, intelligent match played by the Kazakhstan players so far. But a big serve from Sabalenka to the Rybakina forehand. Return into the net gives Sabalenka an advantage. Advantage Sabalenka. And can she end this game with a hold, which could give her a little bit of relief? No, with a serve like that, she won't. Wide of the tee. Second serve. Backhand return. Another double backhand from Sabalenka. Double backhand from Rybakina. A double backhand to the Rybakina forehand. Forehand return. Excellent forehand from Sabalenka, and she holds. So that will definitely give us some confidence. It is now she wins the first game of the second set, but trails 1-0. And I was mentioning that although Sabalenka does have a really powerful serve, once the return comes back in, she doesn't really do very much with the the return coming in. So that enables Rybakina to sometimes get back in and get some break points against her. And so Sabalenka really needs to, just calm down, because sometimes if she's under pressure and she hits it a bit too hard, it can lead to another error. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's maybe why she's trying to force that, that's to get an ace. And obviously, if she doesn't get it, then obviously it's difficult. But yeah, like I say, good response by Sabalenka there. Obviously, chasing that first leg, and then she's managed to pull it back and gets it. But yeah, she still seems to me like she's struggling here, and of course, it's only a matter of time before maybe she just get a break against her, in my opinion. That's the way it looks anyway.
Yeah, well, Rybakina starts the second game with a serve that goes long. Not the best way to go about it. Let's see what she can do now. A slow second serve, backhand return from Sabalenka. Forehand from Sabalenka, backhand from Rybakina. Kitty to the Rybakina backhand, and that double backhand was just inside, but a nice little drop volley from Rybakina, and she wins that point. It is 15-love on her serve. And once again, you see Rybakina knowing when to play powerfully, and that little drop volley drop shot was really good, because it caught Sabalenka off guard. So some intelligent play, and once again, Rybakina has an advantage. 15-love. Wide first serve. Slow second serve, backhand return. A nice forehand from Sabalenka there inside the court, and it's 15 all. So you can see over there, this is really how Sabalenka needs to play. Just be calm and relax and just try and find the angles. Don't go for power, always placement. And that is well in. And it is 15 all. First serve into the net. Slow second serve, well placed on the tee. Nice return, a looping forehand from Rybakina. Does she take advantage of that with a forehand of her own? Yes, she does. But a nice return from Sabalenka that goes in. Excellent double backhand from her. And that forces the error from Rybakina, and it is 15-30. So we see Rybakina now doing her bit to try and fight back. Will she be able to make the best of it? And you can see that double backhand of Sabalenka's is a really potent weapon. Very low, extremely powerfully hit. Rybakina had no chance. Nice serve from Rybakina. And the return just catching the net. 30 all. Big serve to the Sabalenka backhand. Couldn't really reply to that. So 30 all. And this could very well be a key point here in the second game, because if Sabalenka can break back, she could get a foothold in this set. And 194, it's exceptionally big, but not too sure whether that was a let court or a fault. Well, clearly that was, from that was a fault, which explains the slow second serve. Return on the backhand dumped into net by Sabalenka. Another poor error from her. And you can see the frustration once again taking its toll on her. 40-30. But an excellent return on the Rybakina serve by Sabalenka takes it to deuce. An excellent forehand return, that is. Getting to the pitch of that perfectly and sending that all the way to Rybakina's forehand area, and she wasn't able to get that. And so 2 points now for Rybakina to hold. Fault on the first serve. Second serve, backhand return, and some more powerful tennis played between these two, but a pretty poor forehand area there from Sabalenka, who had done well up till that point. Advantage Rybakina. Does she hold? Well, we're going to find out. Big serve to the Sabalenka backhand. Return in the net, and it is 1-1 in the second set, with Rybakina enjoying the first set advantage. So good hold for the Wimbledon champion, and if she can just keep her composure like this, she is almost there.
Absolutely, she keeps doing what she's doing. I think she'll still get an opportunity to break Sabalenka in the next games or so. So yeah, really important. Hold.
Yeah. Well, Sabalenka starts that game with a decent serve, but then another poor forehand error takes it to love 15. And once again, she proves to be her own worst enemy. Her coaching staff giving her some words of encouragement, but already Sabalenka's had 4 unforced errors in this set compared to Rybakina's nil, so unforced errors now proving crucial. Serve to the Rybakina forehand, return, another forehand played there, and a backhand error from Rybakina into the net takes it to 15 all. So Sabalenka still holding on, but only just. Rybakina there sort of cramped for space with that backhand return. Certainly not as fluent as she wanted it to be. Serve to the Rybakina forehand. Was able to get to that, but that was a poor forehand error from her into the net, giving Sabalenka some breathing space, 30-15. Another serve to the Rybakina backhand. The return is good. A nice forehand from Sabalenka, forehand from Rybakina. Another forehand, which is long from Sabalenka, and that takes it to 30 all. And you can now see the pressure starting to mount, and Sabalenka really needs a bit of a reset here. She's got 2 points to hold. She could ill afford to concede another break point. Serve to Rybakina forehand, return, backhand shot now, and that forces the backhand error from Rybakina, takes it to 40-30. So Sabalenka showing some grit, showing a little bit of composure there, finding the shots in her armory, but Rybakina so far has handled the pressure a lot better. Sabalenka needs this point. Serve to the forehand, and that was a wild forehand from Sabalenka there. Takes it to deuce. So, 2 crucial serves for the Belarusian in her first Grand Slam final. And that is considered an ace, giving her an advantage. And we'll see a replay of that. Brought down brilliantly on the tee, and that will suit Sabalenka to a tee. And another ace on the tee, definitely her cup of tea, and she holds for a 2-1 lead. And speaking of tea, I might need to have a cuppa sometime soon.
Very low.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
speaking of which, I owe everyone an explanation. Obviously, whenever you serve, you have to serve it through those 2 portions of the court, which are just after the net on either side. So the lines separating on the outside of the court and also the midline from that line to the net, they all intersect at a T. So when you serve on that middle line or on that intersection, that is pretty much considered to be on the T. And I hope that makes it quite clear. And so Sabalenka coming back into it with some powerful serves when she needed it, but so far Rybakina has handled the occasion a lot better. What do you say?
Yeah, absolutely. And like I say, I feel like it's she hasn't she's really handled the occasion very well, and obviously because she has been there before, of course, in the final. So yeah, that really does tell. But yeah, like I said, and also as the game, obviously the second set progresses, I think that Sabalenka may feel the pressure even more, obviously, as it gets along that. But yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really glad you do. And of course, this is Sabalenka's first Grand Slam final. She's played in a few semi-finals before and lost them
Yeah,
all. So you could say that the occasion might be a little bit too big for her. Rybakina is, of course, the Wimbledon champion, and she's now serving to stay on serve in the second set and keep it to 2-all. This is also another crucial point, and we're going to see how Sabalenka plays here. A serve up the tee and a backhand return from Rybakina there. Not Sabalenka there, rather. A couple of forehands, and the play continues. And Rybakina sends that forehand long. Let me just take this call briefly. So it's love 15 for Rybakina, and Sabalenka is certainly showing her intent right now. Fault there from Rybakina. Hold on a minute.
Yeah, no, I'm a bit behind the stream, so I'm just not gonna do any commentary. But yeah, Manny's best doing that. Yeah.
Sorry about that. And obviously, I missed that point, and I think that point was won by Rybakina, a second serve, which Sabalenka was able to return. A good rally between the both of them, 15 all. And we're seeing the rally right now, a terrific forehand there, forcing the backhand error from Sabalenka. And obviously, how these players hit their forehands these days, they use quite a lot of wrist with those forehands. And we see a service return error from Sabalenka sent long, which gives Rybakina the lead at 30-15. So it's sort of being able to use the wrist and also the angle of the racket to send the ball a little bit low and quite hard. Big serve to the Sabalenka backhand, but a brilliant return. In any case, that serve might have been either too long or a net caught. Again, because the telly's on mute, I can't really determine which. We'll find out from the second serve. Clearly, the second serve is slower, so that was a fault. Nice return there from Sabalenka. A couple more big double backhands there. Huge double backhand from Sabalenka there, forcing the weak follow-up shot, and then Sabalenka puts that away to take it to 30 all. And so, could there be an opening for the Belarusian, or will the Kazakh player close it out? And so you can see right here how Sabalenka was able to really power that forehand and backhand of hers by taking it on quite early. And she was able to obviously angle her racket down to provide that, to make it go a little bit low and a little bit hard. Long first serve there from Rybakina. Slow for second serve. And a nice return there from Sabalenka, which was just in. Pretty weak follow-up shot there from Rybakina into the net gives Sabalenka a break point and the chance to break for 3-1. And if she holds, it could be 4-1 for her. Does Sabalenka convert? 30-40. No, she doesn't. Rybakina serves up an ace wide to the Sabalenka backhand, and we are on deuce. Serve to the Sabalenka forehand. Good return. A nice forehand rally between the two of them. A double backhand from Sabalenka inside the court. Another double backhand return from Rybakina. And into the net from Rybakina, giving Sabalenka another break point. I hate the iPhone sometimes. And you could see that forehand there from Sabalenka causing Rybakina all sorts of problems. And you can see the relief on her face. And now Rybakina might be feeling a little bit of pressure. We're going to see. Advantage Sabalenka. I've actually got the ticker wrong. My bad. It should be 1-2. Will this be 1-3? It is, in fact, 1-3. So Sabalenka breaks Rybakina. And I do apologize for the ticker being wrong. It is Sabalenka 3-1 in the second set, but still trailing by 1 set to love. And this could be a turning point now for Sabalenka coming in, because she started to, mix a bit of power with some proper precision and really cause Rybakina some pressure here. And when she gets it perfectly placed, Rybakina can't deal with that. So she's serving now for a potential 4-1 lead. Sabalenka. Big serve to the Rybakina forehand and an excellent backhanded follow-up to the return gives her the first point, 15 love. Nice serve to the Rybakina forehand, not the best return. Excellent backhand there from Rybakina, causing the unforced error there from Sabalenka. A low double backhand to Sabalenka's backhand. She couldn't quite get to that. It is 15 all. And I don't know why Sabalenka's feeling the pressure, because she does have some breathing space, having broken Rybakina for the first time. Big serve down the tee, return just inside, double backhand, another double backhand from Sabalenka, backhand from Rybakina. An attempted forehand winner, which goes wide, I believe, and that will be 15-30. So Rybakina, obviously angry at losing her serve, is intent on breaking back. (15-30). First serve into the net. Second serve inside, Rybakina forehand, slice from Sabalenka. An attempted drop shot there, completely going awry. It is now 30 all. And that is going to give Sabalenka a lot more breathing space. But you're going to see over here, powerful forehand there, but a pretty poor approach shot. She was hoping for the drop shot, but didn't get it high enough, Rybakina. And we are on 30 all. Big serve, sliced Rybakina return. Huge double backhand to the Rybakina forehand, which she cannot get. It is 40-30. And Sabalenka will now serve again, and she is 1 point away from a potentially crushing 4-1 lead. Big serve down the tee, forehand return, but a wild forehand error there from Sabalenka, and we are at deuce. And one thing I can say about Sabalenka, and I'm sure you'll agree with me on the conclusion of this game, is that she has made life harder for herself at the best of times. Deuce. That is a service fault, too long. 190 kilometers an hour, but again, it's all about the placement. A double fault, giving Rybakina a chance to break back and get things back on serve. And like I said, she's made life harder for herself. Some Kazakh fans obviously waving the flag and willing on Rybakina. No Belarusian flags for the fifth seed. That probably might go down as a fault. I think you can see Rybakina licking her lips at the prospect of breaking back. Backhand return, but an excellent backhand winner there from Sabalenka to save the break point. We are back at deuce. An excellent winner there, deep into the court, and Rybakina couldn't get that. And you can see the effort that Sabalenka put into that. And all Rybakina can do is just watch. So that's 22 winners for Sabalenka to Rybakina's 11. Big serve to the Rybakina forehand, and a backhand error there from Rybakina gives Sabalenka a chance to hold for 3-1. Longest game so far, 5 minutes on the dot. Big serve to the Rybakina forehand, but that is a let court, clearly inside. Still on first serve. Inside clearly. Huge return there from Rybakina to the Sabalenka backhand. The rally continuing. Forehands between the two of them. A sliced backhand from Sabalenka into the net, and we are back at deuce. So this game has gone on for quite a bit of time.
Wow. Brilliant. Oh,
Sabalenka has made life difficult for herself, hasn't she, Ryan?
yeah, she definitely has. Yeah, she really has. But it's easy for us to say that from sitting here.
Indeed. Big serve to the Rybakina forehand. Nice forehand there to the Rybakina backhand. Just kept in play and effectively put away there. Sort of an almost sliced smash, which Rybakina couldn't get. Advantage Sabalenka. And you can see that Sabalenka has now sort of toned things down and has started to get that precision back in her game. She's not forcing it as much, only when she needs to, just doing the things she's done well, and she's hit a lot more winners. But again, the unforced errors really have hurt her. But a huge ace to the Rybakina backhand to hold it, and she's now 4-1 up. So breathing space for her, but you can see how she's had to huff and puff and play her best tennis just to get that 4-1 lead. And she still looks extremely, spent.
Yeah, she does definitely. But wow, what a response to obviously losing that first set. And of course, it doesn't look all convincing, but it's still 4-1. And of course, Rebecca will be very disappointed with herself, really, was she? Because obviously, she would have wanted to close this game out, in this set. But yeah, great set, great game so far.
Yeah. So we might be joined by Hanno very soon. And, the prospect of this going to a third set is very much real. Just when we thought that it would be a straight sets win for Rybakina, Sabalenka says, nope, you're not going to beat me that easily.
Yeah, I certainly think it'll be going to the final set now because obviously it is 4. I mean, it sounds a lot more than it's only one break, isn't it? Still, but it's still going to be a mountain for it to come back into this. So I think it may be going to the final set.
Yep. Sabalenka is, of course, now 2 games away. Rybakina needs to hold to get it to 4-2, and then Sabalenka could possibly serve for 5-2.
Yeah.
And so Rybakina has played brilliantly so far, but she's now under the cosh. How she responds will be key. Rybakina serving 1-4 down in the second set, but up 1 set to love. Big serve there, but yep, that is an ace down the tee. 15 love, 186 kilometers an hour. Another big serve to the Sabalenka backhand, but a brilliant return that's just in. And an excellent backhand there from Sabalenka wide to Rybakina. Couldn't get that. It is 15 love. And now we see both players starting to settle down a little bit, and we see some excellent quality ground strokes and some terrific tennis. And the winners count for Sabalenka has just increased even more. Not too many aces, but that wouldn't matter to her in the least. Service fault there from Rybakina. Second serve. And a nice backhand return there from Sabalenka. Good rally between two of them. Backhand from Sabalenka. Forehand from Rybakina. Sliced. An excellent backhand winner there from Sabalenka. Just forcing that through. Rybakina wasn't going to get that. And it is 15-30. So Rybakina's had a 63% rate of her first serves not being returned, but whenever they have been returned, she's not been able to win too many points, and that probably might be down to inexperience or not really knowing how to deal with that. Sometimes as a player, you've got to prepare for your serve being brought back in, and she serves that long. So we're going to talk about that statistic once we get to the changeover, obviously, but Rybakina's now 15-30 down. Second serve. Backhand return, and Rybakina sends that long. So Rybakina now has 2 break points against her. And if she loses this game, Sabalenka could serve for a 6-1 second set win. And that is how you respond. Big serve down the tee, backhand return, not getting over the net. 30-40, but Rybakina needs one more of that. 187 kilometers an hour. Neither player has been able to break the 200-kilometer barrier so far, but you don't really need to because 180, 190 is powerful enough. First serve, and the return is wide. We are at deuce. So now you see the deuce count increasing. So it means that both players are now sort of settled in and certainly have their minds tuned on making sure they stay in and stay involved. Serves a bit too long, 188, well beyond the tee. Second serve, does Sabalenka pounce on this one? Excellent forehand return. Backhand from Sabalenka, forehand from Rybakina, back forehand from Sabalenka, another forehand from Rybakina. A backhand now from Rybakina, backhand from Sabalenka. An excellent rally between the two of them, and that is long from Sabalenka, and it is advantage Rybakina. So, facing 2 break points, she wins 3 on the trot, and now has an advantage to hold for 2-4. Big serve in the tee, return from Sabalenka. And once again, we see Rybakina not being able to deal with the serve being returned, and that's another service hold point wasted. So again, this is really about inexperience, just creeping into her game. And she's allowing Sabalenka the chance to really, power through with that. And so that's something that Rybakina's going to have to really look at. And you can see now she's starting to feel frustrated. No yells or shrieks from her, but another 5-minute game on the cards. Let court. First service. So Rybakina can still power this through. Down the tee, backhand return from Sabalenka. A good rally between the two of them, exchanging forehands. A brilliant backhand winner there from Sabalenka, an element of slice which took that away from Rybakina. And the Kazakh is now facing a third break point. How does she respond here? And Sabalenka there using her intuition to sort of deceive Rybakina there with a fine backhand there. Her 10th backhand winner in this match. And so Sabalenka has another break point to try and get. Does she get it? And that's a first fault from her. The first serve was, in fact, a let cord. Second serve, and that backhand return is long, and so that goes begging. And we are at our third deuce of this game. Oh boy.
My goodness.
6 minutes and 12 seconds. Whew. What does Rybakina do now? Big serve for the Sabalenka forehand. The return is wide. And it is now advantage Rybakina. A chance to hold and stay in this game and stay in the set, potentially. Big serve, but that will be considered a let. Or was that just wide? I'm not too sure. Once again, the second serve is a bit slow. A backhand return there from Sabalenka, and that hold point goes begging, and we are now at our fourth deuce in this game. So
No.
Rybakina now, just when you thought that Rybakina would finally get something, she ends up losing another point. And Sabalenka's now growing in confidence, and you can see Rybakina just letting her frustrations show. Not exactly yelling or shrieking, but big serve there down the tee. But again, that might be classed as a let, maybe. No. It is a service winner, and Rybakina has yet another chance to hold on to her serve, and she needs to take this chance now. Serve into the net. Not going to help. Second serve, backhand return, but the backhand is wide. And so finally, after what seems almost like an eternity, Elena Rybakina holds for 2-4, but Sabalenka can still serve for a 5-2 lead.
Finally. Oh dear.
It would be a winner, then an unforced error, or a winner and another winner. Back and forth, back and forth. Tennis. Bloody hell.
Absolutely. Oh, good laugh. But yeah.
So Sabalenka now has a chance to serve for 5-2. She could definitely ill afford to be broken here. New balls have been given. And new balls not really helping Rybakina. A brilliant forehand winner there, just inside the line. Love 15. Just composing herself there is the Belarusian. Huge serve to the Rybakina backhand, an ace. No, actually, that was a double fault, rather. Yeah, that was an ace. So it's 15 all. Sabalenka's 10th ace of the match. Another big serve to Rybakina backhand, a weak return. And then forehand from Rybakina goes into the net. So it is 30-15. And so despite having served the most aces in the tournament, Rybakina has been out-aced so far in this match. Long first serve there from Sabalenka. She has a second serve now. Backhand return from Rybakina. An excellent backhand follow-up there from Sabalenka, which just went above the net and into the court. I think Rybakina definitely was not expecting that. And Sabalenka now has 2 points to hold for a 5-2 lead in the second set. And the pressure is now back on Rybakina. I think Sabalenka can be very happy with how she's played in this second set and how she's responded to going down. But she'll know that she's made life difficult for herself. And huge put away there from Sabalenka. 5-2 in the second set. And so when we return from the changeover, Rybakina will be serving to remain in the second set. But I mentioned the statistic over there that Rybakina's had a problem with her first serves being returned. Whenever her first serve has not been returned, she's won 63% of those points. But whenever it has come back to her, she's not been able to deal with that. And so sometimes as a big server, you've got to expect that some of your serves will be returned and make sure that you are prepared for that. That's why you've got to always keep switched on. It's not easy at times when you have a big follow through and then you have a return whizzing at you. But that might be something that Rybakina will have to work on the longer she plays on the tour, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. Like you can't, even though having a big sale like that is a big weapon to have in the game, you can't be too over reliant on it, can you? So yeah, it's definitely something she does need to work on in the future to progress that a bit further.
Yeah, and a huge trend right now is that back in the days when I was watching in the 90s, people like Pete Sampras used to bang their first serve in and then come and volley. Sampras and Stefan Edberg used to do that. Now they just hit their serves in and don't come forward. They sit back and play some ground strokes. So that's sort of a change in approach, which sort of took flight when the Williams sisters started to play, and it's continued ever since. You don't see many serve and volley players in this day and age anymore.
No, you don't, do you know? And I think sometimes you have to add that variation, don't you? Why, you can't afford to be playing the same all the time because it's just becomes too predictable. So I'm a bit surprised that more players don't do that still nowadays, but they should ought to do that really
I
sometimes.
think they're trying to avoid that risk. And speaking of risk, Rybakina putting herself at risk with the first service fault. Second service is slow, but there's a rally going on right now. Backhand, double backhand from both. Another double backhand from Rybakina, backhand from Sabalenka. Backhand, which hoped to be a winner, but ended up going wide. And it is now love 15. And so Sabalenka is 3 points away from winning the second set and taking it to a final third set. And you can see over there that Rybakina had done well enough to stay in the point, but obviously Russell Crowe over there watching along with his companion and enjoying the spectacle. First serve returned, and weak backhand slice from Sabalenka goes into the net for 15 all. And of course, after this second set, there will be another changeover, but the players change over every odd game in each set. So after the first, third, and fifth games and so forth, they have a changeover. Let service there, hits the net and goes inside, but Rybakina now has another first serve which she can try to power through. Does she do so? Yes, she does, up the tee, but an excellent return from Sabalenka. And the backhand from Rybakina is long, and it is 15-30. And 2 points away now, the Belarusian. And the Wimbledon champion is now starting to feel it. The pressure. Huge serve there, but that was probably just wide. So Rybakina now has to get the second serve in, and Sabalenka can try and pounce on this. Huge forehand winner, inside out, which went past Rybakina in the blink of an eye. And so Aryna Sabalenka has two set points to win this set 6-2 and take it to a final set. Big serve there down the tee, which is what Rybakina needed, and she's certainly responded so far. A huge 194 kilometer an hour ace. Can she uncork one more to take this to juice? That is a service fault. Rybakina can ill afford a double fault at this stage. Return there from Sabalenka, but a brilliant double-handed backhand from Rybakina takes it to juice. The return wasn't really of the best, sort of high, sort of loopy, and Rybakina took advantage of that, sending it really low and hard, and Sabalenka wasn't going to get that. We've seen some brilliant points played by these players to try and stay in the set. in the game, and this set has surprisingly took longer than the first, despite fewer games being played. Brilliant return there from Sabalenka on the backhand. The follow-up is just in. Rybakina still in the point, plays a double backhand, another double backhand from Sabalenka. That is in from Rybakina, and the forehand Rybakina is also in. Does Rybakina win this point? Yeah, not quite yet, but a brilliant drop volley, half volley, and that takes it to advantage Rybakina. Some wonderful tennis being played from the Wimbledon champion. And you can see there's no loud open mouth shrieks of frustration. She looks calm and serene. And you can see the return over there was magnificent, but that little approach shot there was terrific. And that soft half volley there, falling into the court and just dying there. Advantage Rybakina. Does she take advantage of it? Forehand. No, sends it into the net. And we are at deuce again, number 2. And as I was saying, Ryan, there have been fewer games played in this set, but this set has lasted a lot longer. So you can see the application, the determination, the grit that both of these players have shown to keep attacking these points.
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Huge serve over there to the Sabalenka forehand, which is sent to the net, and Rybakina once again has an advantage for 3-5. But Sabalenka can still serve for the second set. Serve there to the Sabalenka backhand, well returned. A rally continuing between them. Backhand from Sabalenka is sent long, and Rybakina holds. And once we return from the changeover, Sabalenka will serve for the second set.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I say, Sabalenka may feel a bit of pressure here in this to save it out, because it's always hardest to get the set done rather than maybe earlier on in the match. But yeah, great stuff.
Yeah, but she is serving now for the set. There is no changeover, still at the same end. A long first serve, and that is well out. Second serve is inside. Brilliant second serve there to the Rybakina forehand error, and it is 15-love. So once again, Sabalenka is 3 points away from the from winning the set. I think Ryan has just left us briefly, but he should be coming back. Let cord there, falling in, but you can almost see the deviation once it hits the net and then sort of goes in. So Sabalenka can power this serve, but she chooses not to. A deep backhand return over there, which isn't picked up very well, and Rybakina wins the point with a fine forehand. 15-all. Excellent forehand, sending Sabalenka the wrong way. And you can see now she definitely needs to keep that momentum going. Service fault there from Sabalenka rather. Good to have you back. And return error there from Rybakina. Forehand sent long, takes it to 30-15. So 2 points away from the second set. Serve there, return on the backhand. Attempted drop shot, but an easy backhand winner there from Rybakina, takes it to 30-all. And what twist and turn will we get now? You can see over there that the slice was not very well executed, and that was an excellent backhand winner there from Rybakina, using the open court to her advantage. 30 all. Big serve down the tee gives her set points. 186 kilometers an hour. This is, of course, her third set point. And she has had to work hard to get this, but one more big serve can end this. Well, that wasn't the big serve she wanted. That was a fault, too long. So now she's got a second serve to try to use to win the set. Can she get it? And a huge second service ace. And Sabalenka wins the second set. 6-3. So, this is now shaping up to be a fine match between both these two. Just when we thought it could very well be a straight sets win for Rybakina with a few errors determining things, Sabalenka's come back powerfully, but she has had to, as we agree, she's had to huff and puff just to win the second set, but it has been well earned.
Yeah, she certainly has, but she's got the set, and now she'll feel a lot better about herself. And obviously now, the momentum is with Sabalenka. So interesting to see how this final set starts. But this is crucial. This for Rybakina to start this third set very well, because otherwise she'll be chasing again.
Right. So this will be going to a third and final set. And of course, we won't need to mention the set scores because we know it's one set all. Final set goes without saying. So this final set will determine which of these two is crowned Australian Open champion. And you can see the recovery from Sabalenka, how much that means to her coaching team. Rybakina, having played exceptionally well in the first set, has now lost the second and now is starting to feel a bit of the pressure. But the coach telling her, that's the way it is. You got to do it all over again. But I believe in you. 57 minutes for that second set, despite only 9 games being played. What a titanic set that was.
It was, wasn't it? And I think that it was evident in that second set that the games were a lot longer. Of course, each game, but back and forth at juice, a lot of juices in that game and in that set. Sorry, and yeah, brilliant. We always like to see a final set, though. It makes it more exciting for sure. So, yeah.
Exactly. So the final set has just begun with Rybakina rather, sending that serve long and wide. Second serve, brilliantly placed. And return there from Sabalenka just coming in. A huge forehand from Rybakina there. And it is 15 love for the Kazakh. So she draws first blood in terms of points in this set. Can she take that momentum forward? That second serve, 140 kilometers an hour, brilliantly placed. It really saved her there. 15 love. Huge first serve. Return into the net. 30 love. Forehand return to the net, that is. Another big serve, a crooked forehand return, another big forehand from Rybakina, another forehand from Sabalenka, a huge forehand inside, and the backhand from Sabalenka goes wide. And Rybakina now is at 40 love with 3 points to hold. And so clearly she's come out of this knowing that it's a clean slate and she's got to do it all over again, but she's made an excellent start. Does she hold on? Big serve, but that probably will count as a let. She'll have to serve again. Backhand return. And a backhand from Rybakina goes into the net, but she still has 2 points for a hold. You can see the board. I'm starting to get to a few fans, one of them on her mobile phone, but 2 points for a hold. First serve into the net. Second serve. What does she do? Backhand return, another backhand approach shot, and that backhand slice goes into the net from Rybakina. So she's lost 2 points on her serve. She has one more to hold. And we're going to see what she does here. Probably a little bit too long. And what looks like a second serve. Brilliantly placed in the tee. A service winner there with the return not going anywhere, and Rybakina draws first blood, winning the first game of the final set, 1-0.
That is absolutely massive, that, for Rybakina, of course, and that will really make her feel a bit better, and obviously a reset will definitely happen now, and she can focus on this final set.
Yeah, and you can see the difference here, that she's managed to sort of unveil a new weapon, a well-placed second serve into that corner of the service area, which sort of had Sabalenka struggling a bit. And now we're at the changeover. Sabalenka now has to serve. So pressure's now back on her. It's a clean slate. Huge ace to the Rybakina forehand. 15 love. 169 kilometers an hour. Not very big, but definitely well placed. Serve, forehand return. Huge forehand from Sabalenka. Backhand slice from Rybakina. And that backhand is just in. And it is 30 love to Sabalenka. So Sabalenka basically saying, anything you can do, I can do just as well. And so what they've got is a replay of these shots so that players won't be tempted to use their reviews as much. Wide first serve there from Sabalenka. Second serve, a poor forehand error there from Rybakina makes it 40 love, and so Sabalenka can hold this quite easily. And clearly Rybakina has a fan in the form of Mr. Trollope. Huge serve there from Sabalenka, returned well. And that backhand is just on the line, so the rally continues. Forehand from Sabalenka is wide, 40-15. I'm not too sure why Sabalenka's feeling that angry, but, you know, you can see that she feels the pressure quite quickly. But a huge serve there to Rybakina forehand. And very ambitious looking backhand attempt there. Very nearly got it, but the top of the net just failed her. And so Sabalenka replies with a hold of her own. We are still on serve in the final set. 1-1. Certainly the video work at these tournaments is always wonderful. A treat for the viewer on the television. Rybakina serving now, and that serve is well wide. Second serve. Huge forehand return there from Sabalenka, and that sliced forehand is long from Rybakina. Love 15. And there's a service clock as well, so that players don't feel tempted to take too long to get their serves in. And so Sabalenka seems to have grown into the match, but Rybakina still has plenty of points to play. Serve, and I think that might have been just long, so it'll be a second serve now for the Wimbledon champion. Backhand return from Sabalenka, and that forehand from Sabalenka is just long. It is 15 all. And so certainly Sabalenka showing quite a good deal of power, but Rybakina still staying in, continuing to fight. And it is 15 all. What does Rybakina do here? Big serve there. Sabalenka went to her backhand, but the serve was placed at her forehand, and so technically that would count as an ace, unless, of course, Sabalenka got a bit of racket to that. Of course, the most important thing is that it's 30-15. And so Rybakina can try and hold here. Backhand return, and a poor backhand area there from Rybakina, sort of popping that into the net from the deep backhand return, and it is 30 all. And here again is where Rybakina will have to continue to handle pressure really well, and she has done so quite well in this match. Let court over there, giving Rybakina the good fortune she needs to take that to 40-30. Certainly the return from Sabalenka was powerful enough, but the net cord coming to Rybakina's rescue there. Hopping up, sitting up quite nicely, and Rybakina saying thank you very much indeed. (40-30). Return from Sabalenka, the forehand. Backhand from Rybakina. Forehand from Sabalenka. Forehand from Rybakina. Another forehand from Sabalenka. Backhand. Forehand slice. Countered with that with a forehand. And a forehand error there from Sabalenka gives the game to Rybakina. And Rybakina goes ahead 2-1 in the final set. And we're now seeing both players exhibiting a nice combination of power, precision, and ingenuity in being able to deal with these situations. This has been a wonderful match so far, hasn't it, Ryan?
Yeah, absolutely. It really has. It's had some really brilliant moments, and like I say, it's I reckon that this France out was all the way, really, me, because there's just, I mean, it only takes 1 second, of course, to change, but I certainly think if someone does break, I think that will be the person that goes on to. I don't see anybody breaking back after that. So this is crucial that they hold the serve.
Yeah, but mind you, of course, in the first set, Rybakina did break first, and then Sabalenka broke back, only to get broken again. So this will, of course, boil down to nerves, and I think, as you said, I think it is fair to say that, of course, if you do break in the final set, then that person will probably end up taking advantage of that. It's happened many times before. I can't see more than one break of serve taking place in this set.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
So Sabalenka's serving now, 2-1 down. Needs to hold over here. And the big thing about serving second is that you are more or less under pressure, because if you get broken, your opponent can open up a 3-game lead, as was seen in the second set. Sabalenka now. Serve to the forehand. Rybakina returns that magnificently, and sort of a weak follow-up return is punished by a nice Rybakina forehand. It is now love 15, and you can see Rybakina getting into position nicely, getting the racket face perfectly on that ball, sending that low and hard. No one will be getting that. And of course, Sabalenka went the wrong way. That should count as a fault because it was just too long. Serving at love 15. Long return there from Rybakina, which is sent well long, of course. 15 all. Serve to the Rybakina backhand, and the backhand is just long. So 30-15. And you can see from the close call that it was just out. 30-15. That's let court there. So Sabalenka can serve again. And she can power this first serve through. That is wide. And so she'll have to get a second serve in. Backhand return, a huge backhand there from Sabalenka takes it to 40-15. 2 points now for a hold. And you can see Sabalenka finding her range, getting her position right. Some really good points played by both players. And that backhand over there is really Sabalenka's biggest weapon. Probably more than her forehand, I would say. And serve, Rybakina return. Huge forehand there for Rybakina, just inside. But a brilliant reply to that from Sabalenka. Rybakina can't get that, and we are back on serve. I mean, still on serve, rather. 2 all. Final set. And so I was talking about Sabalenka's backhand. That seems to be her go-to weapon now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it certainly does. Sorry. Yeah, it certainly seems to be that way. And of course, it is a really good final set. This is definitely.
Because obviously when you've got 2 hands on your racket, you do, in theory at least, get some better control. Sometimes your forehand can be a little bit wild. Rybakina serving now at 2 all. Big serve to the Sabalenka forehand. And good forehand from Rybakina. Was that inside the court? That certainly was. So 15 love, and Rybakina still trying to... Yep, she has an advantage now. I mean, she gets the first point of that game. 15 love. Service fault. What does her second serve hold for her? Return from Sabalenka there, but a huge forehand from Rybakina, and a brilliantly placed forehand from Rybakina all the way wide to Sabalenka's backhand. She wasn't going to get that. 30 love. And so Rybakina's now doing what she needs to do, controlling what she can control, and certainly controlling the points on her serve as best she can. And so this third set will very well end up being a chess game between the both of them. Whoever makes the first false move, as you said, Ryan, I think you said it that if someone breaks, that person goes on to win. It could very well be that a really poor mistake could prove fatal in this set alone, and it only might take one mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. Fine margins, it's going to be here.
And of course, speaking of fine margins, Rybakina has just served a double fault, so it is 30-15. Her first double fault of this entire match compared to Sabalenka's 6. So I wouldn't say she's been perfect on her serve. She's only gone about 56% of them in, but she hasn't made a double fault until now. But she responds with a big first serve, and the running forehand is just long. That takes it to 30 all. Pretty powerful tennis there from both players. Placement's also been good. Big first serve there, but I think that might be called long. Yep. And so Rybakina now has the second serve to deal with. Backhand return, another low backhand from Rybakina. Forehand from Rybakina. Sabalenka replying with an excellent forehand winner. That gives her a break point in the second set and a chance to maybe take an advantage and go on to win. So how does Rybakina respond? Crisply executed. Nice wrist movement there, and Rybakina wasn't going to get that. First break point of the set. Is it converted? Huge serve, and the answer is no. Deuce. Return was sent long. .191 kilometers an hour, and that is how you serve pull out a big serve when you need to. Another big serve there gives Rybakina the advantage and a chance to hold. And she has definitely had to huff and puff. .193 kilometers now, so she's certainly finding the power. Huge serve there, returned, but a forehand error from Rybakina goes long, and we are back to deuce.
Juice. A lot of juices.
I'm so tired, I certainly wouldn't mind a nice glass of juice right now. Orange, maybe?
Oh, yeah, nice, refreshing. Yeah, refreshing. Yeah.
Yeah, big serve there to the Sabalenka forehand, a weak return, and Rybakina takes advantage with a nice, powerful double backhand. Gets the advantage again. Does she make the most of this? Both players right now using the double-handed backhand to their advantage, a sort of short, if you will, follow through. Wild first serve there, wide of the service area. Another double fault will not help her one bit. Backhand return, forehand, another forehand from Rybakina. Sabalenka forehand, forcing the high backhand there inside the court. And once again, a half lob there from Rybakina. Can Sabalenka put that away with the forehand? Yes, she can. And once again, we are at deuce number 3. And once again, as with the cricket, I'm going to have some food brought to me. It's
the luxury.
No, it's not a luxury, mate. I mean, it's not nice if I have to go for a long time without eating. When I was commentating on the World Cup final, I went for a period of about 3 or 4 hours without eating. It wasn't nice at all. But big serve there from Rybakina and a fine backhand winner, which is just inside the line. Advantage Rybakina again. This time, can she hold? And you can see there that Sabalenka was once again cramped for space with that return. Doesn't really look nice when you sort of play the half-armed one. Big serve there, return into the net, and Rybakina holds for 3-2. So that game will either give Rybakina confidence or it will increase the pressure on her because Sabalenka can still pull out some big serves and equalize. But again, this has been a real cliffhanger, and it's another lesson to me. If I want to do the watch along for the men tomorrow, I'm going to have to make sure I prepare well beforehand by having my lunch prepared and here ready with me. I do not
Yeah.
want to have people bothering me to come and eat.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Of course, the men's is a lot longer format, isn't it? Well, it can be anyway. So, yeah.
Yep, best of 5 sets, so first to 3. Mercifully, of course, they've gotten rid of the. I mean, they've introduced the tiebreak in the final set. So yeah, and now night has fallen in Melbourne, and we could see this match coming to a conclusion. Okay. Thanks. Oh, for Pete's sake. Almost embarrassing, really. A big serve there from Sabalenka, return from Rybakina. A rally going on, and a fine forehand winner there from Sabalenka, and it is 15 love. Love 15, rather. That actually went out. So Sabalenka now under a bit of pressure. How does she deal with it? Well, that's how. Big first serve down the tee, a weak return, and a huge forehand winner. 15 all. You have to change the ticker. Forgot to do that. My bad. And a big first serve there from Sabalenka takes it to 30-15. And both of these players have so far served up a terrific fight. This third set has been a terrific back and forth encounter. Neither player wanting to crack, and a huge ace there. Wide to the Rybakina backhand takes it to 40-15. 186 kilometers an hour, just what the doctor ordered. And that will count as a service fault because it hit the net and went outside the intended service area. So a second serve from Sabalenka. What does she do? Backhand return from Rybakina. Huge forehand there from Sabalenka. And Rybakina sending that forehand into the net. And it is 3-all. Neither team wants to give an inch. And might as well start eating.
Yeah, yeah. So of course, very tightly contested still, and like I say, I expect this to go
Still
all
on
the way.
serve. It will, and thankfully will only go to a final set tiebreak.
Yeah, yeah, which is
Rybakina to serve. 3-all. New balls. Big serve down the middle. Return is long. 15 love. And one thing I have to say about Rybakina is that through everything that has happened, she has remained outwardly cool and composed. You can only imagine how she'd be dealing with the pressure inside. Big serve to the Sabalenka backhand. A nice forehand there from Rybakina, and Sabalenka sends that forehand wide. An error there. 30 love. And attempted slice there from Sabalenka, who couldn't get to that forehand. And that ended up sending it completely wide. Big serve there to the Sabalenka forehand, and the return is good. The follow-up from Rybakina wasn't. It is 30-15. And so Sabalenka's forehand has certainly been quite heavy, but both of them have actually had a heavier forehand than the average counted at the Open. And that first serve from Rybakina is long. Second serve again. To the Sabalenka backhand. The return is good. Huge forehand there from Sabalenka, but Rybakina responds. But another forehand there from Sabalenka, and Rybakina's not getting that. So once again, we go from 30 love to 30 all. And Rybakina needs to be a bit careful because her last service game was all too similar. She can ill afford to continue to struggle to hold her own serve. First serve into the net. Second serve. Backhand return. Forehand from Rybakina. Another huge forehand there from Sabalenka. Gives her a break point and a chance to secure that crucial break for 4-3 in the final set. Let court over there taking the pace off that and helping it sit up nicely there for Sabalenka. Let first service hit the net and went in. And so Rybakina now has to try to force this first serve through. That she does. A huge serve to the Sabalenka backhand. Return goes into the net, and we are at deuce. So I'll tell you something about this Wimbledon champion. Nerves of steel. Seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to do to win Wimbledon, any Grand Slam for that matter. To be fair, but yeah.
Yep. Huge first serve to the Sabalenka backhand. A huge forehand there from Sabalenka, but Rybakina is responding well. But with that backhand from Rybakina long, she faces yet another break point. And that serve was pretty big at 190. But once again, Rybakina not quite able to deal with the return effectively. So, could this be the moment? Could this be the first crack?
This the defining moment of the match. And
Well, no, it isn't. Another first serve in. Forehand error from Sabalenka from the return, and it is deuce number 2. Oops, my bad. Just testing out another banner. Service there, and the return from Sabalenka is long, so it is advantage Rybakina for a possible hold. And if she does get to 4-3, that will psychologically prove to be very important for her indeed. Return from Sabalenka, 2 big forehands there, but Rybakina still in. And Sabalenka still getting the backhand in, hitting quite powerfully, but Rybakina once again staying involved. Huge backhand there from Sabalenka, and it is deuce number 3.
here we go again.
And we've played for 2 hours and 5 minutes. Titanic encounter between these two ladies. 45 winners to Rybakina's 27. And first serve is just long, so she's going to have to serve that again. Nice spinning first serve there, a second serve there, but the backhand from Rybakina is poor and into the net. Advantage Sabalenka. Break point number 3. Advantage Sabalenka. What happens now? First serve into the net. And again, Rybakina can ill afford a double fault. Return from Sabalenka causes Rybakina all sorts of problems. Rybakina still in, but Sabalenka playing some powerful tennis and wins that game with a forehand smash. And so Sabalenka gets the first break in the final set and goes up 4-3.
Yeah, the defining factor of this game now, I feel, and if you can hold a serve next, then she'll be in a very good spot to take out the match, and I think she will do. So yeah, there we are. And yeah, she's won it now.
We'll see.
Yeah.
There have been so many twists and turns. Wouldn't mind seeing more. Rybakina, come on. Win this. Deuce again. Rybakina starting to get tired. But I think Hanno agrees with you in that Sabalenka could end up prevailing.
Yeah, certainly think so now.
Well, Rybakina has played her part, and she has certainly looked very cool and composed. But I think Sabalenka has just, used her power to a better effect and has finally found the right moments when to hit and certainly how to get the precision and timing right. Serving now for a 5-3 lead, a potentially insurmountable 5-3 lead. But how about that for a forehand return from Rybakina? 164 km an hour serve wide to the Rybakina forehand, but connecting with that beautifully, and gets it over the net and inside, and Sabalenka wasn't going to get that. Love 15. And that wasn't a good forehand return there from Rybakina. 15 all. Service is long, so Sabalenka will have to serve again. And you can see the Kazakh supporters looking a little bit worried, but there is still some way to go in this match. Wide to the Rybakina forehand, and she sends that forehand long, 30-15. So Sabalenka's second serve has been predominantly top spin, definitely all top spin, and she's gotten all of her second serves in so far. And she'll need to do that again with that first serve going long and a bit wide. Second serve, Rybakina backhand, Sabalenka backhand. Rybakina forehand is wide. And that should be 40-15. Hold on a minute, please, mate. Yes, back. Is it?
Yeah, no worries. And
yeah, listen, you're going to have to take over, but I will be back very soon.
No problem. Well, I'm not very good at this commentary. Of course, I'm behind Manny. So, yeah, I'm at 30-15 Sabalenka at the moment. And this is really crucial moments because if she can get this game, then she's only one away from the match, which, and then there'll be huge pressure on Rybakina to stay in the match. So Sabalenka has gone 40-15 up now, and she's going to serve here to. I think she's going to get this. Oh, she pulled it long, and now it is still 40-30, but Sabalenka may be feeling a bit of the pressure now as she gets close to the finish line. And she's going to try and... Is that in? Like I said, it's very hard to see if it's actually... Obviously, when the TV's on mute, whether it's actually in or not. But we're going to... I think it's the second service anyway. Sabalenka. Oh, brilliant return by Rybakina, and it's deuce. Deuce it is again. And we're here again with the deuce calls. And that was a great return by Rybakina, but to be honest with you, Sabalenka did play into her hands. But you're back, Manny. Welcome back, yeah.
Yeah, so it's advantage Sabalenka, and she's now had troubles holding on to this serve. Will this point be the charm? Serve to Rybakina forehand, and another poor error there from Sabalenka on her backhand, and we are at deuce. Number 2. Again, Rybakina, nerves of steel. Big serve there, and Rybakina will probably send that return wide. 180, certainly a more sliced serve, which had Rybakina scrambling a bit. Advantage Sabalenka again. And she needs to get this point. And a huge ace wide of the Rybakina backhand takes it to 5-3 Sabalenka. So Rybakina will be serving to stay in the match, but you almost get the idea that it could be that. And once again, just give me a minute or two. Huge serve from Rybakina there, and another big forehand forcing the error from Sabalenka, making it 15-love. And you almost get the feeling that it won't be long now, but Rybakina will still stay. She'll continue to fight, and she will almost certainly not let this one go so easily. Hanno still hopeful. Second serve, Sabalenka return. Huge forehand there from Rybakina. Sabalenka with a forehand of her own. Some terrific forehand play between these two. The backhand from Sabalenka is just over the net, and Rybakina sends that forehand wide. And Sabalenka is now 3 points away from becoming Australian Open champion. But once again, the grit and determination shown by this young Kazakh player has been magnificent. She beat one Belarusian to get to the final, but against the second Belarusian, she's so far come up a little bit short. And Sabalenka can just taste it after all the struggle she's had so far in this match. Serve wide. Second serve. Return. A nice rally going on right now. Good forehand from Rybakina. Sabalenka replying with a backhand of her own. And that backhand from Sabalenka is long, 30-15. And so Sabalenka could... I mean, she's getting closer. She's still 3 points away, but Rybakina will make her work, but you can see there the second service percentage points won in the third set. Sabalenka was 75%. That's made all the difference. And so Rybakina will have to work on making her second serve a more potent weapon. Big first serve. Return is long. 40-15. And so Rybakina has done all she can do so far. But if and when she holds, Aryna Sabalenka will be serving for the title. First serve into the net. Second serve. Good return from Sabalenka on the backhand. Sabalenka forehand, Rybakina backhand. Sabalenka with another forehand, and Rybakina sends that so low it doesn't even, it actually rolls along the court into the net. And so it's 40-30. So the pressure once again on Rybakina. And if she loses this point on her serve, it could very well be the beginning of the end.
It always makes me jump that. The postman.
Yeah, but terrific serve there. Some really powerful play. And so Rybakina holds for 4-5. But Sabalenka will be serving for the championship.
And this is where the pressure will tell, and this is where the nerve will come into play. Sorry, and it's not easy to do this. So
Agreed. But I'll tell you what, the way Sabalenka's been able to produce some winners and some powerful tennis when she's needed it, I wouldn't be surprised if this time she gets over the line. Rybakina has been a terrific competitor, showed wonderful nerves of steel, and has really impressed me by the way she's, stuck to her task and done whatever she could do whenever she's needed to. But I think if Sabalenka were to win, it's because she will have won the big moments.
Yeah, well said, definitely.
I know that BBC Sport have provided online coverage, but you say you're watching on Sky and Eurosport, yes?
Oh, the BBC doing the game as well. I didn't
Online commentary. Commentary.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm watching it on Eurosport because, on Sky. So, yeah.
Right. So, Sabalenka, 5-4, serving for the championship. Big serve, return from Rybakina just inside, but Rybakina can take advantage, but she shanks that backhand long. And Sabalenka, 15 love, 3 points away. That's all Sabalenka has to do. Stay calm, stay composed. She's done the hard work. Just see it through. First serve into the net. Second serve in, Rybakina backhand return. Forehand from Rybakina and the forehand from Sabalenka into net. 15 all. What's not to love about tennis? Seriously.
I know, what a game. If you don't watch tennis, you're missing out seriously.
Yeah.
You are, because it's a great sport to watch, and it really is. And it's
fun sport to play if you can play. A really good sport to watch.
Great drama entertainment.
I need to start playing again. Wildly long first serve there after a false toss. So Sabalenka now has to use her second serve. It's been a potent weapon so far. Excellent return there from Rybakina, forcing the forehand error from Sabalenka. 15-30. So Rybakina is saying out loud, "You're not going to win this title from me without a fight to the death."
Yeah, make her work for it for sure, definitely. And yeah,
Big serve there, but a good return from Rybakina. Forehand from Sabalenka. Forehand from Rybakina. Another forehand from Sabalenka, and a forehand error there from Rybakina. Very disappointing. Sabalenka now 2 points away. 30 love. Big serve there. Ace down the middle. What are you talking about, Hanno? Cracking under pressure. And now, championship point for the fifth-seeded Belarusian, Aryna Sabalenka. She's had an almighty struggle, but this could be a well-deserved win if she can pull it off. 40-30. Long first serve. She needs a second serve. And a double fault on championship point. I wish I could say I'm surprised, but I'm not. I wish I could say I'm surprised, but I'm not. You were saying?
See, the final point is always the most difficult, man. You know, she's coped well in this match, but yeah, it's the final point, and it's not easy.
Not easy at all. Deuce. Big serve, backhand return. Huge forehand there, which is just inside the court. And once again, championship point, advantage Sabalenka.
Come on.
Certain.
Oh, come on.
And what does she do here? Advantage Sabalenka. Big serve, but that should be a fault. So once again, a second serve, and I will be danged if it's another double fault.
Yeah. Oh.
On the line, return. Backhand from Rybakina, forehand from Sabalenka, backhand from Rybakina, another forehand from Sabalenka, and that is wide. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. 2 championship points saved. Or in Sabalenka's case, it's 2 championship points thrown away. And now she's got to do it all over again.
Yeah. And,
a wide first serve there. Big serve, forehand return. Backhand from Rybakina, backhand from Sabalenka. Rybakina staying in, but Sabalenka fighting hard. And a nice rally between the two of them. And a terrific winner there from Rybakina gives her a chance to break back for 5-all.
Oh my. Surely not. Surely not. And
Nerves of steel. Nerves of steel. Continuing with the rally, uncorking a fine winner like that, and her coaching staff are absolutely delighted. And you can see the look on Sabalenka's face. But a big serve there, and the return is into the net. Deuce number 3. I feel like we've been saying these 3 words very often. Deuce number 3.
It's been a frequent thing to say in this match, but yeah, it's brilliant.
Yep. 6 minutes and 19 seconds now this game. 192 kilometer an hour serve when she needs it. Deuce. And that serve is long. We're going to find out if if she can uncork a second serve that can help her win this point. So, excellent return there from Rybakina, still in the point. Sabalenka fighting hard with the forehand. Another cross-court forehand from Rybakina, but that goes into the net. And Sabalenka now has her third championship point.
Oh, can she do it now? Can she do it now?
And the Kazakh fans are still, anxious, still hoping that their heroine can launch a fight back. But one ace, one big serve can end this once and for all. She uncorked it last point. Can she do it again? Nope. Second serve. First serve is in net. Big serve down the middle. Return from Rybakina. And the forehand from Sabalenka is long. Deuce number 4.
This is the longest. This is the longest game of the match, I think.
Yep, the longest.
Yeah.
And what more can you say about Elena Rybakina? You know it. Nerves of steel. Just stay in the point. Let your opponent make the mistake. And you can see the pain. Big serve there down the middle. Rybakina gets the return in. Sabalenka gets the forehand winner. And we are at championship point number 4.
Oh, come on.
And I'm sure her coach is telling her, come on. One big serve. Down the middle. Ace. You can win this. Oh, boy. Advantage Sabalenka. Big serve. Return. Rybakina gets the forehand in. Sabalenka with the forehand. But that is long, and we have a winner. Game, set, and championship.
Brilliant. Final.
Sabalenka. 2-1. 4-6. 6-3. 6-4. What a game. What a game.
What a game indeed, of course. And I mean, wow. I mean, so impressive from Sabalenka to come back from 1-0 down in sets and show that character. And you can see how much it means to her, of course, as well. It's life-changing, this. It really is. And yeah, wow, what a game. What a final. Yeah.
Confirmation, 2-1, 4-6, 6-3, 6-4. And you can see how much it means to Sabalenka going over to her coaching staff. They were put through the ringer today, and she lost her first set in this tournament. No tiebreakers, mercifully or not, but boy, you can see the relief and you can see the happiness. The tears are starting to fall. Her first Grand Slam final, getting over the line. And you can just see the emotion there, seriously. And of course, while the winner takes it all, the loser has to fall. But Elena Rybakina will be standing tall. I mean, she already is tall at about a meter 83 anyway, but taking the well-deserved acclaim, a standing ovation for her too. Both of these young ladies have put on a classic. The embrace between the two of them was just magnificent. And of course, we are going to give you the presentation ceremony where both of them will speak. So I will make sure that my television is muted. But until then, we get more shots of the two gladiators. And you can see Sabalenka's coach over there with his head in his towel, face turning red. I think that's actually Sabalenka's dad from the looks of it. But I mean, we keep saying, Ryan, that tennis is a must-see game, and I think you can agree with me that this quite simply was. Despite the fact that we didn't have a tie-break, it went for well over 2 hours. Between these two young ladies, it was a final for the ages, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. A fantastic battle between two very, very good players. And yeah, like I say, very competitive, great match overall. And like I say, tennis really is box office when it's like this. And yeah, what a final. And like I say, I give credit to Sabalenka for fighting back from one set down, to show that character to come back and win. But of course, Rybakina played very well too, but I still feel like she'll be quite disappointed, especially after going 1-0 up, But yeah, fantastic spectacle and brilliant morning of action.
Yeah, but now, of course, they're showing us some shots from earlier in the day. Both players, of course, walking past the trophy. Rybakina, of course, already has a Grand Slam title in her collection, the 2022 Wimbledon title. Of course, she would have loved to have won her second and felt like a champion, but at 23 years old, with a game like hers and certainly with temperament to match, you just get the feeling that her time will come once again, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. She'll get more opportunities, of course she will, and she'll learn from this experience as well. Because when you do lose in the final, I think you've seen it in the past where players have come back even stronger. So yeah, definitely a lot to learn from this final, and she'll take it on and progress and have more opportunities. For that, there is no doubt for me.
Yeah. And I think when we see the statistics as well, I think we were talking about how unforced errors would have played a bit of a role. And, Sabalenka certainly did make more than her share of unforced errors, but she was able to uncork a huge barrage of winners, certainly many of them when she needed them the most. And I think surprisingly, Rybakina's big weapon, her serve, she didn't serve as many aces as she would have liked. And certainly her serve on the big occasions might have let her down, perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely. It's in big moments you've got to take advantage, and it's like I say, I go back to it. It's the fine margins, isn't it? Of course it is, and yeah, it's one of those where Sabalenka, eventually just had too much, unfortunately for her.
Yep, just too powerful, too many winners. I think she out-aced Rybakina in the end.
Yeah.
But, the fight that Rybakina showed, you didn't see her, yelling in frustration. You could just see her, just calmly taking it all in and just thinking, how does she cope with this? And we see a replay of championship point where Rybakina's forehand went long. And you can see the relief as Sabalenka won, crumpling to the ground, and her family and her coaching staff celebrating. Uh, Not raucously, but they knew how much it meant, and they knew how much she had to struggle. And now the lights have dimmed over at Rod Laver Arena. Rybakina walking to the opposite side of the court to meet her opponent. And what a terrific moment of respect and sportsmanship between the two of them. And Sabalenka definitely powerfully built, definitely a worthy champion. But with Rybakina, her time will surely come again. And I think that is her father or her uncle in the stands. You could see the redness in his face. Sabalenka blowing a kiss to the air and clasping her hands. I mean, you live for these moments, don't you, Ryan? I mean, obviously, you live for the roller coaster, you live for the ecstasy at the end, and even the agony for the loser. Although bitter as it is, there is some sort of nobility and beauty in that, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, yeah. This is what you train all the time for. Obviously, work hard for and train and commit such to have moments like these. And of course, it is wonderful for the winner, but the loser will obviously learn from what they've done. But yeah, I think it is a kind of. I think it's more difficult than maybe we think to actually come back from a loss in a final because you've got to go again, and it's probably quite hard to do that initially. But obviously,
Yeah.
in times it'll be they'll be able to refocus and go again. But it is difficult.
It is, and we're just coming to the ceremonies right now. Former Australian doubles player Todd Woodbridge, part of the famous Woody's team, is the master of ceremonies, and so I'm going to mute my television set, so we'll find out what's going on. So Todd Woodbridge there, basically, getting the ceremony underway. We see the chair of Tennis Australia, Jane Herdlicker, coming to speak, and it shouldn't be long now before before the players come up to be interviewed and also asked to give their speeches. At the Australian Open, players normally don't get interviewed; they give their speeches, but we'll see what happens this time around. And of course, after this, there will be the men's doubles match where the Australian home team of Hijikata and his partner will hope to try and win the trophy for their fans over in Australia. It was, of course, supposed to be Nick Kyrgios and Thanasis Kokkinakis to defend their title, but Kyrgios had to withdraw. And again, we see the chair speaking. Won't be too long now, and we will get back to her right now. And now we see the chair umpire being given a gift for having officiated a good match. No controversies, no problems. And now, of course, Rybakina will be coming up to receive her runners-up trophy and will be making a speech. So we will find out what she has to say. Getting her award there from Billie Jean King, legend. So basically, Rybakina congratulating her opponent and wishing her the best for the season, hoping there'll be more matches to come, thanking her team, her support staff, the organizers. Yep, hopefully you didn't hear that, but now they're introducing the champion. Well deserved, of course. Dominant performance coming into the game, only lost one set today, and now she receives her trophy. And with that, her speech is now over. Both players making it a point to also thank the crowds at Rod Laver and Margaret Court Arena and also throughout the entire Melbourne Park complex for some terrific support. Of course, Rybakina started her journey in this tournament on the outside courts and never got to play on the show courts. But her journey beating four seeds, including some very really high seeds, was certainly uh, a terrific run in itself. And we haven't seen the last of her. We certainly haven't seen the last of Arina Sabalenka. First Grand Slam final going on to win. And it's moments like this, really, Ryan, that make this tournament one of the more sought after tournaments because obviously the conditions aren't ideal in the first week, but then they've made some adjustments and having the final being played on a Sunday night as opposed to a Sunday morning, early afternoon has worked better for the players who are better conditioned to the heat. It works better for them anyway. They don't have to face the heat, and we see the finalists standing over there. But obviously, I don't know if you've been able to watch any of the tennis beforehand, but I'm glad you were able to join me in watching this one, and you can see how prestigious this tournament is, the pride that is taken in organizing this tournament, and I think that's one of the reasons why at the beginning of the year, starting on a big note, this is really one of the more sought after Grand Slams of the four, if not the most. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a fantastic way, obviously, to start the year off. And of course, it's always a great tournament. Like I say, I watched a bit of action this time, but it's always difficult with the time zone. Like I say, I can't always, watch everything. But yeah, like I say, it's important, obviously, like you said about the, having the games in the evening is a lot better because, especially for the final, because like I say, even if you are in good condition, you are able to kill code. It's still very tricky for anybody that, even if they have kind of, you know what I mean. It doesn't matter how fit you are in those conditions. If it's really really hot, during the day, anybody will struggle really. So, yeah, brilliant
Right.
tournament, brilliant connection with this tournament because it's always a special. I've always enjoyed watching this. It's a great way to start this campaign off really with this.
Absolutely. And of course, they do have another final which is to be played later on, and that is the men's doubles final. It is 10:30 now over in Melbourne. I'm assuming that it's 11:30 over in the UK. I'm assuming, at least in theory, that with the men's doubles final now shortened to best of three, that will be played today, and the action could finish before midnight. But I tell you what, the thing about Grand Slam finals like this or the US Open, they're notorious, if you will, for late night finishes and late night play. You never get that at Wimbledon. You never get that at the French Open. And that's one of the reasons why you get a lot more intrigue and drama from tournaments like the Australian Open and the US Open, which is probably why they're sort of nice ways to bookend the calendar year, perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there was talk though about the Andy Murray match that went really deep into the night into. Of course, I think it was about 4 a.m. their time that it went. So, for me, asking the players to play till then, is that really fair? Is that it? To me, it just seems a bit too. There should be a limit really on that. If I'm honest with you, that's just my opinion. I just think that playing till about 4 a.m. in the morning, I think it's just too much, to be honest with you. But yeah, like I say, it is one of them.
Yeah, but of course, as a fan of Andy Murray, you would have been absolutely proud and delighted with the performance he showed to come back from two sets to love down. And with metal in his hip, can barely
Yeah,
even move and still pull out a fine win.
absolutely. What an epic match it was, and yeah, he's done really well in this tournament. Obviously, not going as far as maybe he'd like, but yeah, really, really special. He's still showing at his age, still that he's got it. It really is impressive.
Yeah, it's always wonderful to see old competitors do well. I remember following Andre Agassi to the end of his career and how he was still quite competitive. I do wish he had retired after the US Open runner-up finish against Roger Federer, and I think it
Yeah,
was it might have been, I don't want to say 2002 or something. I'm not too sure, But that was when we had seen the last of his really best tennis, because the following year it was just basically an injury filled year, and it ended at the US Open almost anticlimactic. He did have a terrific game against Marcos Baghdatis in the second round, similar to Andy Murray, which went to 5 sets, a huge epic. But then next round, third round, taken out in 4 sets, just like Murray. And for Murray, of course, you could sense that it was a match too far. But I think as the season goes on, once he forms a training schedule which will sort of suit him and his current injury condition, he will, be fine. I'm just sharing this to remind you that there is some more tennis to be played. The men's double final between Hijikata and Kubel of Australia, and they'll be hoping to try and win this for their home fans against the Polish duo of Nis and Zielinski. But do you see Andy Murray having a good year, or could this possibly be just, a rare highlight in what might be a difficult year for him with that metal hip of his?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I just feel like, like I say, it's a shame, isn't it, with his injury issues. I don't necessarily feel like he's going to be able to stay fit all year round, which is obviously going to impact the year for him. So I think maybe, if he does, if he doesn't have as good a year as maybe he would like this year, I think he may have to maybe think about calling it a day, unfortunately. And it is a real shame because, just imagine what he could have achieved without all the injury problems he's had over the years, and it is a shame. But do I see him having a good year? It's very hard to say because if he can keep fit, get a training schedule that suits him, like you say, then he's got more than a chance to compete at every tournament he's at. But it's just whether he can stay injury free. That's the biggest concern for me.
Yeah, and of course, at the presentation ceremony, they were focusing a great deal on the work that the likes of Billie Jean King and other female tennis players did to ensure that women now have equal prize money in their tennis events as do the men. And for a long time, it was the men who would earn a little bit more because they played more tennis. But obviously, there was a huge push to make sure that equality was maintained, and certainly with a huge improvement in the quality of women's tennis over the last few decades, you could say that has certainly been money justified and definitely money well earned, perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always been an advocate of equal pay anyway, to be honest with you, between the men's and the women's side of things in any sport, really, to be fair, because it shouldn't matter what gender you are. Shown in this match and in various other sports that women are just as good as men, so there shouldn't be that disparity between earnings, really, for me.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. And of course, now tomorrow we've got the men's final, which promises to be an absolute humdinger. The third and the fourth seeds, the two highest remaining seeds after Nadal and Ruud got knocked out by the end of the second round, risen through, rising above the seed carnage and going on to come up to the final. We've got the unheralded yet heavily talented Greek Tsitsipas up against the legend that is Novak Djokovic, going for Grand Slam number 22. And if he does win, it will be his 10th Australian Open title. Are you looking forward to that match tomorrow? And we should possibly be able to cover that, albeit I will have to make sure I prepare for that by having my food ready and with me. I don't want to have someone coming over here and disrupting the broadcast ever again. But all that aside, are you looking forward to that match, and what do you expect to see from both players?
Of course, it's going to be it's going to be a fantastic final, as it really is. I'm really looking forward to watching it. What do I expect? I expect a very competitive game again. I think that both players in very good form. Djokovic, obviously going for that, going for another title in the Australian Open, full of experience. I feel like the experience may tell in this one, I'm afraid. I think that Djokovic may just have enough to get over the line, especially with his experience. But I can never say the other guy's name, but I'm trying to avoid it.
Just say it like you spell it like you say it.
Yeah, fast. But he's a real talent, like I say, a youngster coming through. It will certainly make it difficult for him, and I do expect it to go. It won't be an easy win for Djokovic. I feel like it'll be very close until the very end, and Djokovic will have to work for the win. But yeah, it's set up to be a fantastic final, and bring it on. That's what I say.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. So for now, though, we've been on the air for 3 hours and 22 minutes, and all I can say is thanks to you, Ryan, for staying with me for this long. It has been an absolute treat, and you are every bit a legend for staying here for the entire duration, mate. Seriously, that is magnificent. I don't know if you've because whenever you've done a watch along for a football game, it's never been this long. About 2 hours maximum. So for 3 hours, this has been terrific, and I'm really, really delighted to have had your company. Thanks a lot for coming on.
No problem, and thank you for having me. And it has been a pleasure as always. It's been fantastic. So thank you.
Yeah, so we will actually be ending the stream. I also want to say thank you to everyone who's viewed this. We haven't had too many comments. Obviously, Hanno and Orest sort of, having the monopoly. And Hanno did say he'd join us, but I think it might not happen. So we will end the stream in a few minutes. And before we do, of course, I'm going to put the spotlight on you, Mr. Mather. Do please tell us where people can find you. And hopefully we will see you tomorrow if we do the watch along for Tsitsipas versus Djokovic.
Yeah, like I say, thank you, everybody. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Manny. Thank you, Hannah, for letting me come on. But yeah, you can find me on my channel, of course, Huddersfield South Fan TV on YouTube. On the road to 300 subscribers now. Also, you can find me on my socials, HDFTV8 on Instagram and Twitter. Please come and subscribe and follow my socials. And yeah, I appreciate everybody's support. But yeah, big up.
Yeah, and do also please mention some other socials, Proud Terriers, of which you're involved as well. Yes.
Oh yeah, so obviously I've got my own LGBTQ plus fan group for Huddersfield, of course, as well. So yeah, Proud Terriers on Instagram, Twitter, and we're also on Facebook as well. So yeah, going really well there. And like I say, I'll always keep campaigning and doing the things I believe. Keep pushing for the change that is needed in football. So yeah, I'll always be passionate about that. But yeah, be good to see some new people on my socials on the Proud Terriers account too. Yeah.
Magnificent. Thanks a lot, mate. And with this, we will be wrapping up. Once again, a final reminder. Do please like and subscribe, like this video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell button for notifications. This is a terrific channel providing a variety of sporting content. You will see a lot more in terms of sporting content, coverage, analysis, or what have you. And it's always wonderful for me to be involved with this. Do please follow Mr. Trollope on Instagram, Hanno_coach_corner. Follow him on Twitter at the rate of Hanno 70830030. And as for me, no YouTube channel of my own, but you can definitely see me here and on several other channels on YouTube. You can find me on social media. You can just enter my name, which you will see right now, and just look for me and you will find me. So once again, this has been another terrific video service from the Coach's Corner, and we're really grateful to have had your company with us. So thanks a lot for joining. Have a good rest of your Saturday, wherever you are in the world. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe, stay happy. Do not do anything that Ryan or I wouldn't do. But for now... we are out. Take care, everyone.
Nice one.
Cheers.